They're a way of life, and now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that. Hello. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome in to the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt, live on YouTube, live on Facebook. You know the drill. I hope everyone's having a good start to their Monday. I'll tell you what, I'm still riding the high of yesterday morning. It was one of those games that it was literally a set the alarm type of game. We say that figure of speech all the time. Oh, you gotta set the alarm, make sure you don't forget. But this was a legitimate had to set the alarm type of game. You wake up 7:45, roll out of bed, and get ready for USA hockey. This, to me, was one of the best viewing experiences I can remember in a really long time. And I think the thing that makes it so special, coming from me, someone who kind of openly said most of last week, like, Winter Olympics a little bit overrated. Not for me necessarily. I think the thing that makes Team USA, whether it's basketball, hockey, soccer, baseball, whatever it is, this week happened to be hockey. I think what makes it so special is you don't necessarily have to be this die-hard fan or know the X's and O's perfectly of what's going on in a hockey game. You can just drop in and enjoy the experience of watching Team USA in the Olympics just as much as anybody else. You know, wherever you were watching this game, and I want to hear some people's, where were you? Like, what was going on? How was your viewing experience to this game? Because I think this is going to be one of those games that you're just going to remember for a very long time. And it's so funny, too, because we think about what does it mean to be a diehard fan. When it comes to the Lions, it's like, okay, you're reading all the training camp articles, and you don't miss any one of the 17 games, and you ride or die throughout the weeks of the season. But with this, it's a 2-week sample size to where a lot of people drop in right before the gold medal game. And I don't know about you, Kyle, or our listeners, but where I was watching this game, I mean, I don't know if people around me are experts, but I do know whether or not you're into the Team USA or not, you can drop in and watch a game like that as a casual fan, and you know, oh, this goalie's playing really well. Oh, you can feel the tension in the room. Oh, you can feel Canada's just controlling the time of possession of the puck, and it's in United States zone way more than you'd like, and it just feels like they're on the verge of winning this thing. And then the back and forthness of the third period and going into overtime, everyone where I was watching this and over at Nord was holding their breaths, and it leads to this incredible moment to where hockey fans, non-hockey fans, people who are into it, people who are just kind of casually stopping by, everyone ends up so invested into the TV. So do I have some nuanced take about this outside the... No, I don't. I just thought that was an incredibly fun viewing experience, and I think that's the best part of the Olympics, whether it's, summer, winter, whether it's the FIFA World, whatever it is, Team USA, that is about as great as it gets for me in terms of sports. I've told you guys repeatedly, the most fun I've ever had watching basketball was not the Detroit Pistons, was not some NBA Finals. It was 2 years ago, Steph Curry lighting up France in the gold medal game. Now I can say with confidence, the most fun I've personally ever had watching hockey, as someone who doesn't necessarily remember the Red Wings championships, I can tell you personally that Sunday morning is the most fun I've ever had watching hockey, is when you get to drop in and be this fly on a wall situation where it's like, oh, it's USA versus Canada. Gold medal game. I don't need to know anything else. I don't need to know anything about the players. I know what's on the line, and it leads to this incredible viewing experience. I thought it was fantastic. I think it's going to be really hard to top that at any point this season, yet we do have Team USA World Baseball Classic, which, is nowhere near the Olympics in terms of popularity yet, but the stage is set for that to maybe take a leap forward. We got the FIFA World Cup in America. And I know soccer's not necessarily an American sport, but hey, neither was hockey until maybe yesterday morning, where it felt like maybe hockey did kind of pivot towards being a mainstream sport in America. I thought it was a fantastic 3 hours Sunday morning. Another thing that made it feel special is just like you had to seek it out. It was the 8 o'clock start. How many sporting events are going to be that early in the morning that are this memorable? Probably zero. So I do think that's going to go down as one of the incredible sporting moments of a lot of people's lifetimes.
Yeah, I mean, we basically, isn't Canada supposed to be good at hockey? You know, like women's team, men's team. We took Drake from them. Like we've got everything. We took everything from Canada here in the U.S. So I think, like, to your point of there's nothing more special than everyone being able to bond over rooting for the same team.
Yes.
You know, like and that's when you compare it to the NFL, NBA, whatever, everyone has their own team, you know, like you're sitting there watching a game. Yeah, if you're having like a Lions watch party, a Red Wings watch party, whatever, for some big game, you kind of get that similar experience, but you know everyone is rooting for America in that game. You know, like it doesn't matter where you are. You don't even know anybody who's rooting for Team Canada, you know? And so
right.
That's what makes that experience so fun. It's just the groupness of everybody and your family and this and that. You could be the biggest casual ever. I'm one of the biggest hockey casuals there is, man.
Me too.
And I'm sitting here dialed in like Canada is choking this. How are they not? You know, like they have had so many opportunities to take the lead and they can't. And like you said, just that investment that you can get from no matter how, if you're a hockey expert or you're the first time ever watching hockey, like it was just super sick to be a part of that.
Yeah, I think that's the best part. Like, if you've never seen a hockey game before in your entire life and you were dropped into Sunday, you get woken up at 8 o'clock. It's like, hey, you got to wake up. Like, you have to see what's going on right here. You still understand how intense of a game that was and how, like, what was on the line. And you could see who was playing well and who wasn't. It felt like the United States' back was against the wall for the majority of the second and third period. And you mentioned it. Canada had all these opportunities, and it felt like there was 2 of them or 3 of them where it was like, how did they not score? And the United States goalie, Hellebuck, just out of his mind with 42 saves. I was over at Nord, wake up 7:45, head over. There's a few stragglers in there. The bar ends up getting filled up. But by the time overtime was going, I mean, you could hear a pin drop in that place in the best way possible. And you find out Jack Hughes scored, and that play happened so fast where, like, everyone was like, where's the puck? Where's the puck? And once you see the United States start celebrating, everyone in that place just erupts. It didn't matter if you had watched 5 seconds or 3 hours, if you had watched the semifinals or the quarterfinals, or that was your first time watching hockey ever. Like I said, I think it just, Team United States hockey, Olympic sports, is just, that's the best way to watch it. It's just the best viewing experience you can possibly ask for. I love it. The United States prevails, and it just leads to this completely unforgettable moment. And the other thing that I think was really cool that's worth mentioning here off the rip was the 6 different players from Michigan being a part of this, and also Dylan Larkin for the Wings being a huge part of this as well. Really taking, like, I think we all appreciated Dylan Larkin for being from Michigan and going to U of M and being the captain of the Red Wings. But now it feels like he's in this different territory, even though the Wings didn't accomplish anything. The way that we all view Dylan Larkin now as a gold medalist for the rest of his life, like, he moves into some other category, and I'm not quite sure where he is, but now he's beloved for a completely different reason by the entire country and specifically the state in a very unique way. I thought it was fantastic. This is a hockey state, man. Did you see the stat that it was 3 of the top 4 teams currently in the college hockey rankings between Michigan, Michigan State, and Western are all in the top 4. We've got 6 players from the United States hockey team that have Michigan ties, whether they went to school here or grew up here. We got Megan Keller, who had the golden goal for the United States women's team over Canada. She's from Michigan as well. This is a hockey state, man. We talk about, is it a basketball school? Is it a football state? This is a hockey state.
It's pretty sweet, man. Like you said, I mean, it represented on both sides too with the women's. It's pretty sweet. And you talk about all the people across the country that were invested into this, but imagine the amount of hockey fans in the state of Michigan that just the week that they have had. You know, it's pretty awesome experience. And like you said, just the fact of the where were you when the game winning goal was scored thing. Like, I think that's a really fun thing to talk about because
where were you?
I was watching with my dad. Went back home to my parents. I was home for the weekend, so I stuck around, watched with my dad, and it was pretty sick. Like, everyone has the same reaction. Like, oh,
yes.
Everybody's arms go up in the air. Like, everyone has the same reaction, but it's so special no matter what. So it was really cool.
I'm not even exactly sure what to compare that to, because obviously the comparison for the 46 years on the day, Miracle on Ice. But I think that had sort of that's just an unrepeatable circumstance considering what was going on in the world in 1980 between the Soviet Union and the United States. But this game, being in the morning, there's something about that morning game that made it so unique where it's like, I can't remember this ever happening to where like, oh man, like everyone, it felt like any sports fan in the country on Sunday morning kind of had their alarm set of like 8 o'clock, you got to be there, be square. Doesn't matter if you've seen 1 second or know one player
or
on
if
this
you
team.
Stayed up till 2 or 3 in the morning the night before.
Yeah, just be ready to go.
Wake up
for Sunday at 8 a.m. and it delivered in the most amazing way possible. So I want to ask everyone, where were you when you were watching this game? How did you watch this game? What was your experience like? Because I have a feeling we all shared a very similar experience. And I think the cool thing is, as I expressed last week, I thought the United States had a little bit disappointing of a run at the beginning of the Olympics for the first half, with their 2 biggest stories and individuals, falling apart a little bit between Lindsey Vonn and Ilya. But we don't need to harp on that because both hockey teams, I think, saved this year's Olympics. It made it successful, even though they were second in medals, total and gold medals. It doesn't matter. We won the hockey gold medals. I think that's a reason to celebrate enough. So
what a pivot from Ben on his Olympics.
It fixed everything, didn't it? I mean, that's like, if you're going to win 1 gold medal in the Winter Olympics, you want to win hockey. That's what it is. It's the best team sport. There's a reason it was like that prime time Sunday morning main event over in Italy. It was 2 p.m. Like, that was the main event of the entire Olympics, the gold medal game between Canada and the United States. The United States prevails, and just like that, best hockey country in the world. Great sight to see. 989-837-6125. So where did you watch, and can this be topped? Because I have a feeling the answer is no the rest of the season, or the rest of the calendar year. This is by far the favorite to be the Bowman of the year for 2026 sports, which is saying something with all the things that we have coming up. We've got Pistons. Like, in terms of you personally, I'm talking to our audience, I'm talking to you, Kyle. You personally, how does this stack up if, the Lions were to win a Super Bowl? The Red Wings were to win a playoff game for the first time in 16 years. 10 years. The Pistons, if they were to win a championship, how does that stack up, being a diehard fan versus your local teams or your college, or Michigan winning a national championship in basketball versus this
or Michigan State, right?
Or Michigan State versus this ability to just jump on a team for 1 week and just ride them out and watch them win a gold medal game. I'm not sure it gets better than that. And I have a feeling there won't be a moment as special as what we had yesterday for Team USA knocking off Canada. So what was your experience like? 989-837-6125. This right here is the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Minute. Kyle Sandel producing for us today. And as always, 9 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by Iron Stack Technologies. They help businesses solve real tech problems securely, efficiently, and without the headache. When your IT is working the way it should, everything else gets a heck of a lot easier. Iron Stack Technology, solution-driven, mission-focused. You can find them at ironstacktechnology.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on one. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back in. Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt. What a special day we had yesterday. United States taking home the gold medal. I know all of us had the exact same reaction to it. Ah! Epic. 989-837-6125. Got a text coming in that says, granddaughter texted me and said her and a lot of others were watching it from church over in Bay City. That's epic, because that's like, again, that's just something you'll remember forever. Being in the morning, I think, if it was Sunday night, I don't think it hits the same. It's like this. It was this unique, like, oh man, like this is a special event happening in the morning. Set your alarms, wake up, because the game ended and it was what, 11:30, if that. So I just felt like I had my entire day still to go do productive things. But like the fact that I had already had that sort of an adrenaline rush and all those sort of emotions before noon, I think it just led to a really special moment. One of those moments that I truly don't think I'll forget the rest of my life. One of the best sports moments of my life.
Yeah, funny YouTube chat coming in from RP too. He says, my wife and I tried to wait to watch it later. Of course, I got emails and alerts about the result, LOL. Yeah, I think in the big 2-6, at least for me personally, I cannot DVR a game and try to watch it later. I mean, you just can't. Like, I'm on my phone too much. I'm going to see everything, especially that. I mean, that's the biggest. You're getting alerts and texts and everything from that game. So yeah, definitely tough to try to go back and rewatch that one.
I saw N. Davis in our YouTube chat said I was sitting on my couch and had to subdue my screaming so I didn't wake everyone else up. You should have woken
them up, bro.
Yeah, as you got up, you should have went to each and every one of your family members' room, banged down their door, and told them, "You better wake up right now. You got to see this. You got to see what's going on downstairs."
That feels like one where honestly, you are like, if you're not waking them up, you're in the wrong. Like you have to wake them up. Yeah.
Like I said, I think it saved the Olympics in a lot of different ways. I think Jack Hughes' golden goal is just going to go down as one of these perfect things. And I think hockey maybe just took a step forward in terms of becoming mainstream in America with how many eyeballs got to see that incredible moment yesterday morning.
And I got to say, we were talking about this before the show, like Jack Hughes, top 2, top 3 life living right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, like he gets the game-winning goal. He's got, obviously his teeth are smashed out, so that's kind of tough. Dates Tate McRae. I mean, like,
I don't think it gets much better.
The combination
than that.
of that, hitting the game-winning goal in the Olympics in the gold medal game, and the fact that you date Tate McRae. I mean, that's just probably the best combo you could ever have.
I saw Dylan Larkin's locker room celebration video when he was live on Instagram. He looked like he was having an incredible time.
That's the thing. Those guys had plenty of this. It's not like this game was at 7 p.m. You know, they have the whole rest of the day. To even the game being at 2 over there, like you still had the whole evening to celebrate. Like that, I couldn't imagine that celebration.
Yeah, you got no worry in the world. You have literally nothing else to think about. You're over in you're in Olympic Village, like this protected little subsection that no one else is allowed to get into. Yeah, one of those moments that obviously you'll never forget. So you were watching at home with your dad, right?
Yep.
I went over to Nord Social, had a great time there.
Any early morning cocktail for Ben or no? Early Sunday
I
morning?
resisted at first. I had a coffee in the first period, and then I think sometime in the third, I was convinced that, like, our good friend Matt DeVries downstairs was like, no, this is mimosa time. So he bought a couple people mimosas, so I was thankful for that. And I did not regret it. I didn't eat breakfast before I went because, early
so
start.
It probably hit.
Oh, it hit. One mimosa, and in the third, I went from, like, quiet observer locked in to, like, pounding my fist. Come on!
USA!
Yeah. Again, like, do you think that that's going to be topped? Like, what can top that this season or this calendar year? It can't be anything Lions. They're off the board because it can't be a regular season game for them.
Right. This is where I think I'm going to be in a little bit of the minority here. I am such a diehard fan of my local teams.
Sure.
Like to the extreme that I think a championship for many of them, I would take that over what happened yesterday. And I know that that's not going to be the common opinion for most people. But like if the Pistons won the finals, I don't think I'd be here right now. I don't think I would have gone to sleep after them winning the finals. Sure. Still, it would have just been, I would have still been celebrating. If obviously, like you said, the Lions Super Bowl can't happen in this calendar year. But like, if the Tigers won the World Series in this Last Dance thing, I would like. It's to me that is more special because we've talked about how the watching experience of the Olympics yesterday and just in general it feels different because you have the whole country. It's not just the fan base of the Tigers or the fan base of the Pistons. It's everyone. So like the watching experience feels better, but your team winning a title and obviously a gold medal is much more of an accomplishment than winning a title in a sport in just one country. But still, like to me, I'm such a diehard fan of those specific teams that I would take that over that. That's just me, though, and I assume a lot of other people are probably in different realms.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I will say championship every single year versus Olympics every 4 years
Totally.
plays into this
For sure.
in my eyes. Like, just and then creating the super team, I think plays into this as well. To where it's like, no, we're just assembling the best squad ever. Their country versus ours. Like, there is a sense of nationalism and pride that I don't always have, but for those 3 hours yesterday, it's like, no, like, how can you not? I just think the stakes are a little bit higher, and you're right. Like, I'm a diehard the way that you are with the Tigers and the Pistons and the Lions, but there's something about that, like, hopping on this bandwagon for two weeks where you're just allowed to be the biggest fan or know nothing or everything about these teams, and it just ends up being this incredible 2-week stretch to where you don't have to really deal with the woes and ups and downs of a season. And, those make the championships worth it in the end. But this, 2-week stretch of just being ride or die, I think it leads to these incredible moments that we saw where I'm not sure.
Yeah, the moments are definitely much more special.
Way bigger than the Olympics.
It's like, I mean, the context of the Team USA finally winning, like that as well. But I also think that, like you said, you have more of a connection to your local teams, of course, than you do for games like this. And we got to think of specifically for the people of the state of Michigan. Like, when's the last time your favorite pro team won a title?
2008.
If I was a Boston fan or whatever, if I was a fan of a city that has championships everywhere, maybe it wouldn't be that big of a deal because your teams just get them. The Detroit teams don't, and they haven't in our lifetime very much. So that's the reason why I would lean that way.
I'll just say this, and then we can move on to the Michigan Duke game. I stress myself out and get very high and very low throughout the seasons of the Lions and the Tigers and the Pistons, and it leads to some moments where it's not that I'm not proud of it, but like, you get what I'm saying. You put the stresses on yourselves. You overthink things. To be able to just be a drop-in fan for this, I enjoyed it in a way that I've never enjoyed sports before. And I felt the same way about the Olympics in 2024 when Steph lit up France in that gold medal game. There's an enjoyability to it to where you don't have to deal with the lows of a season. And I think that makes for a pretty special, like, the Olympics are special. And I think the viewing experience of that, it's just really hard to top that. And I would say this is now, minus 250 for moment of the year?
Probably.
Sports moment of the year in general.
You discussed this in the last segment, but we have the World Baseball Classic coming up. Of course, the Olympics are on a different pedestal as the
There's
World
a
Baseball
runway
Classic,
for the WBC this year, though, with how it ended a couple of years ago, and now America, kind of doing what the Olympics
did. The storyline is there. The storyline is there. Losing to Japan last time,
and just bringing a way better team to the table this time. Like, Scooble's there and Judge is here. Mike Trout was kind of the best player they had last time, right?
Yeah,
nothing against Mike Trout, but now the Avengers are here.
Their rotation is crazy. And DV in our YouTube chat says if the USA wins the World Baseball Classic, that would be up there. But I don't think it would top the Olympic gold medal game. That's probably the correct take.
And it's a golden goal. It would have to take a walk-off home run or something like
that,
right?
But think about how the World Baseball Classic ended last time.
Ohtani.
That was an unreal. I don't think you could draw up a more perfect way for something to end.
Well, if Mike Trout homered,
the U.S. losing, but I'm saying just for the story, and now it's the comeback. Like, if they play again in the championship, so. Yeah, that has potential, but I don't think it could top what happened yesterday.
It certainly tops the Super Bowl. There was no moment in the Super Bowl that stuck out the way that the gold medal game did.
What, Sam Darnold's legacy? It doesn't do it for you?
That didn't do it. It'd have to take something truly incredible in March Madness.
LeBron's 5th ring?
I don't think that's going to happen this season, but that might top it. Like even the greatest March Madness game ever, the Villanova buzzer beater, right? Like I don't even think that would top what we just saw.
Yeah,
I don't think
right.
there's anything that can happen in March Madness to top what we saw. I don't think there's really anything that can happen in a World Series.
Miami, Ohio goes undefeated all the way, wins the
Okay.
whole thing. I'm just throwing out scenarios.
I do think it's interesting, too, that later this summer we get FIFA World Cup in America, which definitely sets the stage for soccer to get some national attention, too, the same way that
Totally.
hockey kind of just stole the headlines here in this state. Fascinating game. Fascinating 3 hours on a Sunday morning that'll go down as one of the most historic moments of the year, and also just like probably lifetime. Like you'll never forget that game. I'll never forget that game. No one watching yesterday will ever forget where they were when America won their first gold medal in 46 years on the day that the miracle happened. Now, this wasn't quite the miracle, like I said, because of I think you can't just replicate what was happening politically in 1980, but this one was not just as like inconceivable, but it did have the same sort of impact of like entire country watching. Felt like, you know, we finally assembled the God Squad, the Avengers, and they toppled Canada and finally are able to deem themselves the best hockey country in the world.
Well, and just like how many times you on the edge of your seat in the third period of this game, like just waiting for Canada to clearly take the lead because they've had so many opportunities and you had the multiple power plays, like just waiting for something to happen, and nothing eventually did, of course, until overtime. But there was just so much of this like antsiness in this game late.
Hellebuck was incredible, by the way. I don't think we've mentioned him enough. And you don't even have to know like who that is or what team he plays for to know like that goalie's playing out of his mind right now. He 42 saves.
Yeah.
Couldn't let anything between them. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9. The Mitts. All right. And by the way, 4 players on the ice, all from Michigan, all Michiganders when that final goal happened. Pretty cool. Yeah. All right, when we come back, Michigan, their flaws finally uncovered versus Duke. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. The Ben Bosscher Show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Protect your home with Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time. Whether you have a leaky roof, storm damage, siding looking a little tired, Bresky has you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
coming without no money, girl. Come on.
Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Okay, 989-837-6125. We'll come back to Team United States. Let's shift to Michigan versus Duke. This happened Saturday. Lived up to the expectation. An incredible game, but, I mean, we blew smoke up Michigan's butt for an entire week, saying that they are basically unbeatable. They were this God squad. And, you know, I don't want to say that they got exposed, their flaws got exposed, because I feel like there's a really negative connotation with that word. But for, I guess I'll just use phrasing very similar to that. I think their flaws got uncovered in that game to where there is a couple ways that you can get to Michigan. And first and foremost, I think if Ademara gets into foul trouble early on, the way that he did on Saturday versus Duke, and all of a sudden his minutes have to go down, like this just becomes a much smaller and much different team. That I think is first and foremost, like number one way to get Michigan in trouble is try to bring Ademara out onto the perimeter as much as possible. And if you can get 2 early fouls on him, again, Michigan's just a lot smaller. The thing that makes them their superpower is Ademara, because you have these 2 forwards in Yaxel and Merez Johnson that are massive. But if Ademara is not out there, then all of a sudden this is just a better team. And I think Duke, for the most part, took advantage of that, of those 2 early fouls from Ademara. The second thing, and I only have 2, I think Elliot Cadeau, he should just not be starting anymore. He has a terrible game against Duke. He's now 0-4 against the Blue Devils because he comes over from North Carolina. And it just kind of had a stinker in every game that he's played against them. Had a stinker in their elimination game last year against Ole Miss as well. So there is now this storyline of when the lights get bright, does Elliot Cadeau kind of fade away? And I think that's kind of the perfect way to maybe describe it, because a lot of his jump shots that he takes are fadeaway jump shots, are step-back threes. And when he's hitting them, it's incredible. It's awesome. It's fun to watch. He did it against Michigan State. But I ultimately think they're just bad looks. A lot of them are from 35 feet out, seemingly. A lot of them are off the dribble step back. They're just not high-quality looks in my eyes. And I look around, I think L.J. Kaysen would be a better fit. I think Trey McKinney would be a better fit in the starting lineup. Over the past couple of weeks, really since the calendar flipped, it's not like Elliot Cadeau has been lights out shooting from 3 either. He's like 33% over that stretch. Kaysen and McKinney are both shooting better from the outside, both hitting free throws at the same or a better clip as well. I would not be starting Elliot Cadeau anymore. It's just not my cup of tea. Funnel the offense through Yaxel, have LJ Kaysen or McKinney come in and start, and that would just be the way I'm doing it from now on.
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of on board with this for a while, which is, to your point, though, about, like, is he a guy that just isn't built for the big games. I would disagree with that for this season. Like, obviously, we can look at the Duke game, yeah, but what's the reason they beat Michigan State? What's the reason they beat Purdue? Like, Elliot Cadeau had huge games in both of those games. Now, I do agree just in general, I just like Kaysen more than I like Cadeau. He's come to Michigan, and obviously Dusty May has a blueprint, and he wants everybody to be not just strong three-point shooters, but be confident three-point shooters, like all be willing to take them. Cadeau did not take a ton of threes his freshman year at UNC. He's already taken way more threes this year than he did last year at UNC, and the season still has 4 or 5 games left. Like, he's just taken a lot more threes this season, and he's not a very good three-point shooter. And he's kind of filled into that Trey Donaldson role of like, man, when he's hitting them, it's pretty cool. But when he's not, what else does he truly provide?
He's 34% since the calendar flipped. McKinney's 37. Kaysen's 37.
And you add in the fact that Cadeau is a turnover machine.
Yep.
Like, it's not like he's this elite playmaking point guard that it's like, okay, well, if he's not knocking down shots, at least he does this. He certainly is not their strongest perimeter guy. Like, Kaysen is much more of an athletic, at least just from that perspective defensively.
Kaysen gets to the rim.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw Elliot Cadeau just get downhill and attack the basket? He doesn't. He usually pulls it out and wants to pass it or throw a lob, which he can do, but it feels like 90% of the time he stops 90% through his drive because he doesn't want to go all the way to the basket.
Yeah.
Because you want to know why? Because he's shooting 73% from behind the arc this year. That's not good enough for your starting point guard. McKinney's 90% from the charity stripe. Like, what are we talking about here? I don't understand it, to be quite honest. He doesn't even draw fouls either. Like, I talk about the 73% from the free throw line. Like, that's bad. He doesn't get to the line ever because he never gets all the way to the rim.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not like Michigan's. It hasn't been their strong suit all season. You know, like when we've continued to sit here and try to point things out about this team, that's one of them, is the point guard spot certainly just isn't this elite group.
And what a disaster stretch moment he had when he smoked the layup. He was 0 for 7, finished 1 for 8. He hit 1 3. But that layup that he smoked with, it could have brought up Michigan to within 1 with 3 minutes left. They had all the momentum because for the last 5 minutes, Boozer was sitting on the bench because of foul trouble, and Michigan had fought and clawed their way back into it. The momentum was flipping inside the arena. You could feel it. The energy was building. Duke had lost all momentum. And then Elliot Cadeau smokes that layup, and then it just felt like that was it. Like, that's the moment that Michigan fans are looking back at, like, oh my God, if he just makes that, it just plays out totally differently.
And I think, like, any talk that we had last week about this being a all-time Michigan team, all-time college basketball team, obviously are just gone.
It has to be put on hold, yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's over. Like, this is not an all-time team. I mean, that Duke team is better than Michigan. Like, that's how I feel. This wasn't like Michigan played bad. I mean, they did a pretty solid job handling Boozer scoring-wise. I mean, this is a guy that's averaging 20-plus points per game as a freshman, and he didn't need to be this scorer because everyone else was, and he was playmaking well. Like, that Duke team is just better than Michigan. I truly feel that way.
I think if they played 10 times, they split 5 and 5. And I also think if that game's played in Chicago, it just plays out a little bit differently. I felt it as if it was way more a Duke crowd than it was a Michigan crowd.
It certainly wasn't a home game.
Well, I didn't say it was a home game.
Yeah,
Chicago wouldn't be a home game either, but I did think that the crowd definitely leaned way more Duke than it did Michigan.
Sure. I mean, I don't think that's anything that should be taken into consideration of like, oh, that's why Michigan lost. I mean,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that's a neutral site game. The crowd thing definitely does not play any sort of a factor as far as
deep into ACC territory.
I mean, I don't think so. But I think the big reason why I feel this way about Michigan differently than I did Saturday, because it's not a bad loss by any means. Like it's a good loss to play a team.
They can still historically be one of the best
Sure.
Big Ten teams we've had this century.
Their star player needs to gain some composure over the next couple of weeks. I mean, from what I saw from Lendenberg after the game, the fact that Cameron Boozer is an 18-year-old freshman and clearly is just much more mentally strong after a whatever, like pregame, postgame, than your star player, 5th year, 20-whatever-year-old Yaxel Lendenberg. Yeah, I think he's just a 4th year, but still, I don't know. From what Yaxel displayed in the postgame, just of not being willing to talk about the other team and stuff like that, and then Merez Johnson has to step in and answer the questions for him.
And the worst part is I'm not sure if it's intentionally like out of sassiness not wanting to answer it, or if it was just pure incoherency of what was going on. And
Boozer outplayed you, man. Like, just own up to it. You can't change it. Like,
but it's not even as if he was like saying the wrong things. He just wouldn't speak. He couldn't. His mind wasn't working, which I think there are some, maturity levels at least in question. And you start to ask yourself, well, why is this guy not playing in the NBA if he's 6'9" and athletic and a unit and can shoot threes? Like, he has all the tools. Why was he playing at UAB for all this time and not playing in for a Power 4 team? Why did it take him 2 years to transfer or 3 years to transfer out of UAB in the first place? Why was he ineligible to play in high school for so long? Like, I do think there are some maturity questions now with Yaxel Lenneberg, and it does make sense. And those were, easily covered up when Michigan was winning, but it does make you wonder about all these. Why was he not playing in the NBA? Why was he not on a Power 4 team after he won Player of the Year in the American? Like, it took an extra year, and Dusty was willing to, bring him in. And I don't think there's a regret by any means necessary, but
no,
there is some sort of like, there's something I don't know. There's something missing.
And I think it's just the reason why we're diving into it so much is because we haven't gotten to see Michigan off a loss a lot this year. Like,
yeah.
So to me, like the Wisconsin loss felt fluky.
Yes, this did.
This one did not. This was a true, real loss that kind of exposed ways that you can beat Michigan. Oh, one of the ways is that Duke is just a really good team, too. Like, that's a really good basketball team. Like RP and Chris are saying in our YouTube chat, absolutely is not a bad loss for Michigan. If anything, this weekend was technically a win for Michigan because Illinois lost,
right?
To a Big Ten opponent. Michigan did not lose a Big Ten game. This game does not matter in the grand schemes of things, but it definitely, at least for people like us, helps show that the Wolverines are beatable.
Yeah. Sure. I guess I'll go as far as saying Duke is better than Michigan. They did win the game, for crying out loud. But right. I do think like
goaltend. What do we think?
Confirmed goaltend, I thought was a weird verbiage. I thought that hit at the peak of it. I think if that wasn't called a goaltend in the first place, you can't overturn it to a goaltend. What's the other word they use? Not confirmed, but they're just keeping.
They're just the call stands. Basically.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was, more so than a.
Well, yeah, and they
confirmation.
They technically have to call it a goaltend because you can't, like, if the shot is blocked, you can't review it and be like, now it actually is a goaltend. That's you can't do that. So
I don't know.
I don't
think it's the reason they lost.
And I think Dave Pash and Jay Billis said it best. Like, I do not know with that stuff, man. For the people that are watching the slow motion pixel by pixel replay and that's clearly a goaltend or that's clearly not.
Yeah, what are you watching?
What do you mean that's clear? I'm so bad at telling if the ball is going up or down on shots.
I think it hit at the peak. That's what it felt like. It felt like Mara blocked it at the peak of it. I didn't think it was going down, but It definitely froze at the top there for a second, which it just made the visual of it look weird. I do think if Mara doesn't get into foul trouble early, that game plays differently because Michigan lost their size, and specifically in the second half, in the later stages of the first half, Duke took advantage of that. And if Cadeau can make one more shot at any point or doesn't smoke that layup, I think Michigan, pretty good chance they win. But my biggest takeaway would be, can we please get McKinney or Kaysen in the starting lineup? I think either of those guys would be better fits for Michigan's team. The Mitt. Happy Monday, everyone. If you're watching live on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. We'd appreciate it here at 100.9 The Mitt. Hey, if you're looking for financial advice that actually makes sense, you got to meet Doug Cellini of King's Youth Partners right here in Midland. Former teacher and coach, Doug breaks down all the complicated stuff, makes it understandable for people like you and I, helps families and professionals build clear game plans for their money so you can move forward with confidence, not confusion. That's Doug Cellini, Kingsview Partners, right here in Midland.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
We'll circle back to USA Hockey. But Michigan losing to Duke, I think, confirmed a couple things. They're beatable, and Elliot Cadeau shouldn't be in the starting lineup. And when Ade Mera gets into early foul trouble, Michigan just becomes a very beatable team. Like, even more so than Elliot Cadeau kind of hindering this team's chances to win against Duke on Saturday with the blown layup and going 1 for 8. And when I say blown layup, I mean just smoked, wide open layup to cut it within 1. Not to dump on the guy too much, but it was. I mean, you just got to make that play. I'm sorry, you just have to make that basket. Ade Mera picking up 2 fouls in the first 6 minutes of the game, like that's number 1 in the tournament. Thing that can happen in the first 2 media timeouts. Like if Ade Mera picks up 2 early ones, Michigan is suddenly a completely different team. That to me is almost a bigger deal. Elliot Cadeau is a more fixable issue, but if you run into a 5-out team that's just like, you know what, we're just our only game plan, our only shot of winning is to get this guy out of the game, and they just continue to attack him. I think that's where Michigan could all of a sudden. That's the avenue for an upset happening, is that guy getting into foul trouble.
Yeah, and I saw some people saying like that's what made this game fluky, and I would disagree. I think
I don't think it's fluky. I think that's more
it's something
so
that could happen.
It's bound.
Yeah.
I think it's bound to happen.
Especially
now that
in a tournament game.
I think now that everyone has gotten some tape on like, oh, if you get them into foul trouble, like they're just a significantly smaller team.
Yeah,
I think that's a lot of teams' game plan going into a Michigan game.
Especially like it's not like you're even going into it just trying to get Mera to pick up fouls. You're just trying to play physical with Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh, they have these big time bigs. Okay, we kind of have to match their physicality.
And don't be afraid to go get blocked.
And
just
Duke
go right into that dude's
did.
chest.
Like they absolutely matched the physicality. I saw that being talked about in the chat. And I think RP makes a really good point too. And this, I didn't even really think about this. He says, honestly, the biggest surprise for me was that no role players really played well. Burnett, Gale, McKinney, Kaysen, Cheddar, none of them really had like a huge difference made in this game, where it feels like in every Michigan game, at least one of those guys has a stretch where you're
Correct.
like, bam, like that was a big time part of this game for them.
And you know what the crazy thing is? I don't think anybody needed to necessarily have this incredible game if Cadeau just didn't suck.
Good point.
If Cadeau just went like,
man, the missed layup, bro, is just like, I had one of those last night when I was playing hoops, and I felt like Cadeau, man. Like it's like you can't be missing those.
No, not in that circumstance either. Like, cut it within 1, 3 minutes left, and all of a sudden it's a completely different game. Like the fact that they still almost won with Cadeau playing as bad as, I know it ended up being double digits, but they still almost won with Cadeau being as bad as he was and Mera being in foul trouble because Yaxel was just so damn good. Like, if you want to win, I know the post-game stuff and the maturity level with Yaxel is a little bit more in question than it was before the game. But if you want to win as a Michigan fan, I think it's Yaxel played his way into the top 10, I thought, on Saturday. Like, that was my thought watching most of the game. The first 75% of the game, I was like, this guy is for sure a top 10 pick. He just does everything at an exceptional level and got a little bit quiet towards the end of the game. But the way he started out, 5 for 5, 2-and-1s, was perfect from behind the arc as well. It just felt like there was nothing Duke could do to slow him down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the top 10 pick stuff, but I agree as far as like, yeah, he definitely like he played a really good game. Like, I totally agree with that. I just think that
I think he's Mikal Bridges. I think he's Jeremy Grant, gold medalist. Like, I just think he's someone that you can throw into a team and he just fits.
Right. He's
basically everyone.
He's just old and has the mind of a 13-year-old. You know, like that's
Yeah.
the issue, you know? So like but yeah, from a on the court perspective, yeah, totally. So I think that we just found out that Michigan is not this unbeatable, undeniably good team. They have matchups that definitely are favorable to other teams, and if a team matches their physicality, maybe just no other team in the Big Ten can, and that's why they've been so good, you know?
I still think they're probably top 3 when the rankings come out.
I think they'll be
today.
third. I think they will be third because Arizona looked really good again on Saturday.
Yeah, I would imagine Arizona's 2, Duke is 1, and then Michigan is probably sitting at 3. 989-837-6125. Where were you when you were watching the United States golden goal by Jack Hughes? We'll get to a couple text messages when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on the Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.
Yeah, 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Again, it was one of those games, you'll probably die not forgetting where you were watching it. It was a legitimate, it might be the first ever in my lifetime set the alarm game in a literal standpoint where I had to set an alarm to make sure I was awake to watch it. Because like the night games, you know what time they're going to start. You're not like wondering. You can look it up a million times throughout the day, but 8 a.m. start I think made it special too. You set the alarm, you wake up, you're locked in at night or at 8 p.m. for the next 3 hours. Ended up being an incredible day. Let's go to the Mitt message line here as John joins us. I watched from North Mississippi, saw the Miracle on Ice game in California. Now 57 men have won a gold medal in USA hockey. That's from our loyal listener down in Mississippi. I'm not exactly sure.
That's cool.
Yeah. He's texted in a couple times.
Very cool.
Yet to know his name.
Oh, he's got to drop his name. Dropping the town, though, Mississippi. Well, that's where to start, right? A guy who is in Mississippi was vested in hockey, a team or a state that doesn't have an NHL team. I don't even know what the closest NHL team would be to Mississippi. I'd have to kind of bring out a map and do some measurements there. But that's what Olympic hockey does. And you said it in the open, by the way, and I want everyone to know, USA officially won the Olympics. When you take the women's and the men's and you win in hockey, Norway could have all their cross-country skiing medals they want. We won the Olympics. Everybody knows it. I'm just kidding. But it was fun.
No,
but that's how you feel,
I mean,
though.
you're kind of right.
That's how you feel. And you said it, too. Like, the primetime slot, it might have been 8 a.m. here, but 2 p.m. before the closing ceremonies, all the other athletes are done, or the majority of athletes are done.
It's the main
and
event.
Everyone is watching that game in Milan Cortina, and everyone across the country is, both countries. So it was just so much fun. You said you set your alarm. I intentionally because I didn't need to use my work computer Saturday, but needed it Sunday. Left my work computer, so I got up at 7 a.m., drove here, got my work computer just to make sure I was up, and then drove back home.
Why not just set your alarm for 7?
Couldn't just set an alarm.
Because I would have snoozed. I've been like, no. I'm like, I need to be up for an hour before this game starts. So I did that intentionally. You got to trick the mind.
Caffeine will also do that.
Yeah,
another
but I'm off
text
caffeine.
from John, not you, I imagine. This
No, I
wasn't
did not
you?
text in.
You're off caffeine? Sorry.
I
Cold
mean,
turkey?
Not like 0%. I'm sure there's certain caffeine and things that like I consume and don't
weak.
realize it. Like
That's soft.
I had a soda when we went out to lunch a couple days ago. Like that has a little bit of it or sugar or something to take it. But yeah, I'm not on energy drinks or anything like that.
Nice.
No, don't nice him. That's
Well,
soft.
the problem
Yeah,
is
weak.
I'm going to have to use some of it once the baseball season starts. Like I'm not going to be able to survive the baseball season without a little bit of it. So
I think that giving up the energy drinks is smart, but to just cold cut caffeine, like you don't do pre-workout either?
no
Coffee,
no
tea.
pre-workout. My pre-workout has like 200.
Yeah, I mean that's
that's a
Like
normal amount.
pre-workout is like I mean
It's
they're
a pretty-
basically
pretty
on
high
it.
amount, yeah.
It's worse than energy drinks.
But no, I would disagree. It's in terms of the
is.
caffeine amount, maybe, but the energy
Correct.
drinks has worse stuff for you.
Sure, correct.
Yeah.
But I'm
All
just
right, back
talking
to
purely
hockey.
caffeine.
John texted in and said, I was watching with my wife and kids. The really special part about it is my 5-year-old son was so locked in at the end. Could see a spark lit in him. The rest of the day, he talked about how he wants to be a hockey player. Very inspiring game for the youth. Wow.
That's
So,
awesome.
We mentioned this at the beginning, too. Like, was yesterday the moment that hockey becomes a little bit more mainstream in this country? Because it's always been the fourth sport, and I think it still is after yesterday. But, like, there's a chance that because of this game, is this kind of revolutionary hockey moment for the youth. I mean, we got a 5-year-old, like, I'm not around kids all that often. I don't know how coherent a 5-year-old is, but for him to notice his son is locked in at the end of this game, like that,
Just a great statement.
I think that just leads to a really cool moment of like, yeah, like my little child who can't form functional sentences half the time is like super invested in like even a 5-year-old can sense the energy and the tension in the room for a gold medal game. That's why it's so special. You're literally creating a generation of hockey fans yesterday.
Yeah, and that's why maybe some viewed it as like overkill with all the 1980s stuff, having Mike Erizzione, the Olympic hero, on the broadcast, Mike Tirico's close, which was basically like dreams exist, like go chase them, and that was kind of his concluding thoughts from the ice hockey arena, and he did a fantastic job yesterday. But they bring
Tirico
that
or
up.
Albert?
Tirico.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Kenny Albert did great too. But like the 1980 game inspired a whole generation to play hockey and saw an uprise of hockey in this country in terms of its popularity in the 80s, in the 90s. I always bring this up, and I don't know if I've ever brought it up on the show, but how funny it is looking back. But there was a Sports Illustrated cover in 1994 that was like why the NHL is hot and why the NBA is not. Because that's how it was
Michael Jordan
at some point
wasn't
in that
in.
country. Yeah, and then he comes back, and hockey really hasn't recovered since. But yesterday is going to be a spark. And also, too, for the young girls in this country, USA women finally beating Canada, too. I think it's going to have a spark, or just you hope it has a spark, for both the young boys and young girls in this country to play hockey. Because, hey, it's a lot of fun. Now, in terms of just addressing the sport as an affordability, like that's been a hurdle of it, too, that no one wants to talk about. Playing hockey in this country is expensive.
Very
in terms
much so.
of the gear,
Yep.
renting out ice time, joining these youth programs. So that still has to come down, and that's why other sports that are just more accessible at an early age, even throwing soccer in there along with the other big three.
Well, soccer is the most ridiculous one that's never going to become mainstream in America.
But it could be if we win the World Cup. Not going to happen.
But I'm saying, like, it's so expensive for no reason. You should just need a ball in a net, but to actually play on these teams, it's so exclusive and there's so much travel involved that a lot of families can't afford it.
Sure. I mean that's like across the board, but at least just to start in hockey too with the gear, I'd imagine it's more expensive than soccer.
Yeah, no, you're probably
Yeah.
right.
Any other texters?
Yeah, this one's from my grandpa Jeff.
Let's go, Grandpa Jeff.
Like your actual grandpa?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
He says, couldn't be happier for big hockey guy. Couldn't be happier for the men's hockey team. Watched live in 1980. Watched Ken Morrow from my hockey club win gold and Stanley Cup later that year. Watched the Netflix doc about it as well. But one guy beat Canada, and that was Hellebuyck, who was just inconceivably good yesterday.
Yeah, Connor Hellebuyck was, like, you want to talk about the USA being thoroughly outplayed. They were. But people forget that the goalie's a position in hockey. And if it is performing at that rate, it can make up for mistakes
that are being made at other positions. Like I don't know.
I
what
thought Canada dominated the zone time.
They did.
The time like just almost
That
doubled the
game
United States in
yeah.
terms of shots on goal. Like they just played better for 90% of it. All it took was overtime.
Without Hellebuck, that could have been a 3-4-1 Canada win
For sure.
with ease. McKinnon also not missing that empty net would have helped too. But Hellebuck, he stood on his head. He was that darn good. And for a guy who has people just don't think stay or performs in those high level games because he does in the NHL playoffs, he kind of discarded that thought because he was that darn good. Something else I want to bring up too.
Can I do one more text first? Or keep reading this text?
No, do text.
Jeff continued to say, never thought I'd say this, but the real story was U.S. women's hockey, who stomped everyone 5 consecutive shutouts. Thought that deserved a mention as well.
No, I mean, their domination was crazy. And obviously you knew Canada was going to play tougher in the gold medal game than they did in the preliminary and make adjustments.
It was
and that
physical
was obvious.
right out of the gate.
Yeah, it was obvious. But their run up to the gold medal game, I don't know if there's been a more dominant one from especially from a women's hockey team, but just a hockey team in general, just of how great it was. Maybe you can go back and past the Olympics when it was pros versus majority college kids in terms of like scoring rates, but they shut out everyone, and they were basically winning every game 5-0 or 6-0. What's fun, the Canada perspective of this. You guys have talked on the show before how LeBron might be the most hated athlete or the most most criticized athlete.
Without a doubt.
Connor McDavid now in Canada, think of this 3-year span now. Loses 2 years ago the Cup in 7 games to Florida. Next year, again, a 7-game series with Florida, loses. And Canada hasn't had an NHL team win the Stanley Cup since 1993. So McDavid back-to-back Game 7 Ls. Then, in this one, lets the United States have their first gold medal since 1980, and in the game, has a breakaway.
He had a lot of good looks.
A breakaway against Connor Hellebuck, and he gets in way too quickly and makes no move. It wasn't like, oh, what a fantastic save from Hellebuck. No one's going to remember that play because McDavid blew it. So in terms of how those Canadians are waking up today, they are going to be criticized to the max, and it's going to fuel what will be the next Olympics, 4 nations, whatever. But that Canadian team, I wouldn't want to be them this morning. And they were salty. I don't know if you saw Nathan McKinnon's quote after the fact.
I did not. I mostly just watched the Team USA going ballistic in the locker room after the fact, and they looked like they were having a hell of a time.
McKinnon goes, if you watch the game, you know who played better. It's like, I'm sorry, Nate. I believe you have a silver medal and a stuffed animal at home. So be better next time. Don't miss that empty net, and you'll have a gold.
That's actually the biggest loser thing I maybe have ever heard.
The only thing that would be more loser than that is well, if we played 5-on-5 in overtime, I think we would have gotten it done. Which, side note for the 2030 Olympics, I do think if we get into an overtime situation in the gold medal game, it should be played in fives. But you cannot blame that for why you lost. You had the better unit going into an overtime.
The only problem with that is that the 2010 iconic Sidney Crosby golden goal, that was 4-on-4 OT.
Okay, then do 4-on-4.
That what they're like, oh, 3-on-3 is gimmicky. Okay, it wasn't 5-on-5 like the NHL playoffs in the 2010 Olympics either. It was 4-on-4. So what's the perfect number? And
I think 4s or 5s would have been better.
3s, they still had the advantage. They have McKinnon, Celebrini, and I don't want to hear Crosby didn't play either. McKinnon, Celebrini, McDavid. Those 3 are better than any USA combination of 3 guys. But
4 guys on the ice, all from Michigan when they won that game.
It was, but bar
it's
none.
a hockey state.
Just crazy. Just crazy stuff. But yeah, I mean, what an exciting game, and I'm glad you guys were invested too. Even Brad,
Everybody
Brad was invested.
That's why it makes that. I mean, I go back to that text that we got from John about his 5-year-old son watching at the end. Not only is that a cool moment for his son, but just a cool moment for the texter himself too, to be like, oh my God, my kid is 5 years. I would imagine he's never seen that before. He's really invested into this before.
That could be his first moment of hockey,
or sports.
Yeah, right, exactly. What were you doing, John? We were talking about where were you watching this? What was your?
We should have got the picture that John sent us up on our YouTube. That was incredible.
I had my
USA
full
shorts.
US fit.
I have my USA hockey shirt, the USA Apollo Creed that he gifts the Rocky Balboa shorts that I have, and then I don't own a USA hat. It was a New York Giants hat that I had to turn inside out, red, white, and blue.
But that's what I wore, and I was watching. I had breakfast. I was watching in my apartment because I needed to. You know, I was yelling. I didn't want to disturb anyone, and I just wanted to feel that game. And one last note too, what made that feel like a big event. You take, okay, it's the Olympics, country supremacy. The broadcast structure was no commercials during the actual gameplay.
So good. So
and
awesome.
that does make a difference to us. There were no advertisements on the boards. Now in the NHL, and even during some of those Olympics, they had, promoting things on the boards. It felt like a more natural broadcast and relaxed and
like
better
an
on
80s
the eye.
broadcast or a 90s broadcast.
Because there was just less BS ads. So if you felt, wow, that presentation was better than what the NHL gives, you weren't just, I think, victim of the moment. It just was, because that's how it was presented. NBC intentionally did not have commercials during gameplay. They might have had commercials after the period ended during intermission, but there were no commercials during the gameplay, and that made a difference. Like, it was just a great experience. The broadcast team was phenomenal as well and passionate. Like, Eddie Olczyk was losing his mind after the Matt Boldy goal that opened it, and good. Like, it's the American broadcast. CBC and Canada goes nuts on theirs too. But yeah, it was just so much fun.
Unforgettable game.
Yeah.
Golden goal. Jack Hughes, is there anybody living better life than him these 24 hours? Dating
No.
Tate McRae.
No.
Won his
Lost a
country
tooth, but most iconic photo with the American flag
Yeah, I think it's
draped
cooler
over
that he
him.
lost the teeth. Yeah.
Dude, that photo.
I don't know. As someone who's broken a
I've
tooth
got
in
it.
half, it sucks. It's not fun. You can't breathe.
Can't breathe.
It's too sensitive.
Really?
You can't drink water. Like, it's extremely sensitive. Yeah. So that part of it sucks, but I imagine that's fixed by now. And he gets to,
He gets to what?
yeah,
Something with Tate McRae or no?
No, I was going to say he just gets to go
He just
home a
gets
hero.
to date Tate McRae.
Yeah, he gets to date Tate McRae.
Is
and
that
come
better
home a
than
hero.
winning the gold? Like,
No. All right,
History. In history.
I did see something with that too on Twitter. It was like, oh, do you think Tate McRae got the ick when he lost the tooth? I'm like, why is this on my Twitter? I closed the app immediately.
We were debating
Oh,
whether or
did
not
he get
Tate
the
McRae
ick?
was even rooting for him.
yeah.
Why?
She's a Canadian.
She's Canadian. Who was she rooting for? Like that's a really interesting question.
If she was rooting for the Canadians, he should dump her on the spot.
So you can slide in.
No, just.
But
you can find
also
a better
you can,
American
like-
girl. You can.
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mid. If you're looking for a new car, I can tell you from first-hand experience, Garber Chevrolet in Midland is the place to go. They make it easy. Bought my car there a couple summers ago. The whole process was smooth. No stress, just straightforward. Whether you're looking for a new car or a used vehicle, the team knows how to get you the right stuff. Plus, they treat you the right way. Garber Chevrolet, a place you can actually trust to purchase your ride.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ski Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
So from a Michigan standpoint, Michigan has 6 players with ties on Team USA: Jack Hughes, Dylan Larkin, Connor Hellebuck, Kyler Connor, Zach Wernitzky, and Quinn Hughes, all of which are connected to Michigan in some way. We've got Michigan State, Michigan, and Western all ranked inside the top 5 for the current college hockey standings. And then Megan Keller, who's from Farmington Hills, she had the game-winning goal for the United States in their gold medal game. Dylan Larkin specifically, I think, he enters this new territory, and I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's more than just like, oh, he's the captain of the Wings, and he's this multi-time All-Star, and he played at Michigan, he's from Michigan. Like, now he's kind of moved into something else, and like maybe American Hero is a little too far. No? You think it is?
They don't get to the gold medal game without him. He had to score that first game in the Sweden semifinal or quarterfinal.
You're right. I guess he's just now in a territory where, like, even if the Wings amount to nothing in his career, which it seems like they're on pace to do something, finally, for the first time since his rookie season, be in the playoffs and maybe do some damage. But even if that doesn't end up playing out that way, like, he's still, when it's all said and done, a legend for people in this state. Like, no one is ever going to say bad things about Dylan Larkin, even though his team, historically in the NHL, hasn't really been able to get stuff done with him as the best player, which I guess now he's more so the second best player with the way Raymond's playing. But I don't know, like, the momentum he has gained right now, it feels like in this moment in time, in February 23rd, he's the biggest quote-unquote star in the city of Detroit, even including Cade, and that could, like, totally shift after tonight, and you know, the news cycle just continues to move on. But Larkin's a star right now, and I never know if I didn't know if I necessarily thought that way about him before yesterday.
Because of what he wasn't. I mean, he might be
a really good player
in the state of Michigan and regarded as the best Red Wing, but he's going to be, or his legacy was, and he still has time to build on it, the best Red Wing in a down time. Like, okay, great years. And it's not his fault, right? Team game, but
so you're saying he's the Andre Drummond of the Red Wings?
He's better than that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's better than Andre Drummond, but that's fair. Like, I think it's just a little too far because he's not in terms of just like NHL players to a Mike Trout level, because he's below that. But like similar, where it's like, yeah, we know he's really good, but he just plays on a team that doesn't make the playoffs, which is such a juxtaposition of how the Red Wings were regarded for like the history of their organization. I mean, Olczyk mentioned it, I think, in that Sweden game, like him and Brian Boucher just talking about Larkin, like, yeah, I know, you know, NHL playoffs, we don't see him because the Red Wings have had struggles, but Larkin's for real, and trying to keep emphasizing that point because he scored the goal and everything, that like this is one of the better players on this Team USA squad. We highlight the Kachucks because they're just entertaining. The Hughes brothers are young and spectacular, but like Dylan Larkin, especially in that Four Nations tournament, was big.
Yeah.
And was big in the Olympics too. But yeah, that's where he is. I mean, he's having his moment. I think, you know, Cade's going to still be bigger, obviously, like Hutch, whatever. We could do a list or something like that. Yeah, like, but he's having his moment, and he deserves it because it's not his fault that the Red Wings can't go to the playoffs. It's a team sport, and he tries his best. But when he's given the opportunity to play in big-time games, he's been big.
I don't think it's, like, going to go down as a knock on his career if this is the highlight of it. Like, I think, honestly, like, Steph Curry's, the highlight of his career is beating France in the gold medal game.
I would say no way. That's the highlight of Steph Curry's career.
I think it's the biggest moment of his career, yeah. He was not
known
as
a part of a dynasty.
He wasn't very known as, I mean, he didn't win the finals MVP the first time, which was crazy, but, like, he didn't have a ton of clutch moments before like that was kind of the story of his career, and then he
really
they were on the verge of losing for the first time in a very long time in the gold medal
No, it
games
was
of
awesome,
France,
but-
and he just single-handedly took over. I think it's the best moment of his career, Kyle.
I mean, I don't know. It's also like Team USA. Yeah, they were on the brink of losing, but it was not like they were. You flip it to Team USA in hockey. You know, like they hadn't won it in so long. Team USA is an expectation to win it year in, year out.
No, I'm not even arguing that. I'm arguing what's Steph Curry's best moment?
I mean, maybe the bank in three, the bang against OKC, it was a regular season game.
Okay,
you know,
so then, I mean,
winning the championship
regular
in
season 3.
winning the championship at 22 against Boston, like what Steph finally got his Finals MVP like that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, he, like you said, he wasn't like he took over in the Finals in those first 2 wins. So yeah,
I mean, when has he not been the best player on Warrior championship teams? Like
Both the Durant years.
Durant.
I think Curry's
Durant
Curry's more impactful, but it was pretty clear on the court for both of those championships that Durant should have won Finals MVP.
So it was Curry's team. Durant they get to make it a super team, and those were just Durant's Finals and not Curry's.
No,
Durant was the star of those Finals, though.
But yeah, Durant.
Wow.
I think they don't.
Guys, it's tough.
Look, they won. They. I don't think they can get there without Curry. I think he was more valuable to the team. But like, there was no way Curry was getting those MVPs.
The highlight of Steph's career is probably hitting 400 threes in a season. Like just because it's never going to be touched.
Sure.
Like that's probably it.
You won America a gold medal. I don't even think this is up for debate, to be honest. I can't believe you guys are pushing
okay,
back
then
on
no
this.
point in talking about it then.
Well, no, I'm just surprised you're both kind of in agreement here, where it's regular. Like I know it wasn't like he had this memorable game-winning buzzer beater in one of the Finals wins, but like. They were a dynasty, and he was the guy. He practically reinvented the game of basketball, where everyone's shooting threes at every level.
For sure, but there isn't like a specific
What's
moment.
the moment,
right?
I think the moment is him
his
winning
whole
a
career.
gold medal.
Night in, night out.
That's
right.
not how that works, though.
guess
but
not.
like my whole point with Larkin is I don't think that's a bad thing. Like I don't think it's a bad thing that Steph Curry's the highlight of his career is winning the United States a gold medal. That's not a bad thing. I don't think if it comes down to it, and Larkin doesn't really have that much postseason success in his NHL career, and the highlight of it is winning a gold medal, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Sure.
I think that's a
I'm
perfectly
fine there. I mean, it's a bad thing
reasonable-
if you're a Red Wings fan.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say. Like, what?
Sure.
Are
That's
you
not
supposed
for
to be
him.
happy with that? Like, if you're a Red Wings fan, are you happy if this is the highlight of Larkin's career?
No, you want it to be a cup.
You're not happy, but you're not mad at him. Like it's not his fault.
No.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize this with Curry. I always just was like, wow. I mean, the defining player of that era.
Yeah, I
Him
think
and LeBron.
he changed the way
100%.
basketball was
Insanely
played.
good career.
But like when you think of the one specific, like even right now, like what's the moment you're thinking of that I'm forgetting? Because to me, it's
I don't
just
know, like, there's
pretty
not-
obvious the
Yeah.
threes at the end of the game, the golden dagger.
All right.
But Kyle's right.
Wow.
It's like the bank in three versus
Yeah.
OKC
Yeah, like
in a regular
that's the
season
first, that's
game.
the
I don't
shot
know.
you think about when you think of Steph Curry. But that was a Saturday night game in the regular season.
Yeah.
You know, like
Like it was always Clay that had the crazy games in the playoffs, their initial run, and then Durant showed up and was Durant. Mm-hmm. It's not like Curry was bad, but like he just never. His impact was. It wasn't through like the big time plays. It was through running around and creating space for his teammates.
Yeah.
putting it back on Larkin though, like does this launch him into the top 5 of Detroit popularity athletes?
Popularity
we
or
always,
best?
Well, I don't think he can touch the best, right? I mean, like
Scooble.
I mean, with the Scooble and all of the Lions, like just make it so difficult, and Cade obviously, like. But as far as like popularity wise, like this really has to jolt him, right?
He's for
no
sure
doubt
living
about
as
it.
the most popular guy right now, and probably like has
Throughout
been,
the rest of the regular season too, he's going to continue to be talked about.
especially if the Wings keep winning. But
Yeah.
there's some serious Cade MVP talk right now, which I think is reasonable. Yeah, I like I said, I don't exactly know where Larkin has now been pushed into, but he's in a different category and he's not going back.
Right.
And if you want to call him an American hero, then I guess that's what it is.
He's going to be regarded as a bigger deal outside of Michigan, I think, by
Yeah.
other hockey fans. Like I think just like being a Ranger fan, you're like, wow, don't like Larkin is that guy. Like just watching the Olympics, like that was a takeaway. I was I mean, I know it's not related to him, but like Quinn Hughes, I didn't realize Quinn Hughes was that good. Jack Hughes we get to see because he's a New Jersey Devil, and honestly, going into that Olympics, I'm like, he's kind of overrated a bit, you know. Like there was some, but yeah,
Never again.
They're not gonna have that thought. But like Quinn Hughes, because I was talking to my dad on the phone yesterday, we were just going on and on about Quinn Hughes. Like I want Quinn Hughes to be a Ranger so badly. I'd sell the farm. I'd sell everything. But yeah, that's maybe he'll be better regarded outside of the state of Michigan. It's just also a tough time. Like, all right, Larkin's doing all this stuff. The Red Wings are in a playoff spot. Who's the guy who also plays in your arena? Cade, and the Pistons are the best team in the NBA. Like, it's, tough time to be a Red Wing when the Pistons are that good too. You know, you're competing with them on a nightly basis.
Hey, maybe this will be the year that there's finally a postseason win in Little Caesars Arena, because there's still not one of those that exists. 989-837-6125. If you're looking for something fun to do here in Michigan, Go Great Lakes has you covered. From festivals and live music to outdoor adventures, great food, family-friendly activities, there's something for everybody. Go Great Lakes Bay.org is your one-stop guide for the Great Lakes Bay region. Whether it's for a weekend plan or a last-minute getaway, explore local and go Great Lakes.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Myth.
You see this video of some just lumberjack in a log cabin watching the Canada game. Just the most Canadian setup you'll ever see. Just takes a chainsaw to his TV. He's so upset. You see this video, Kyle?
No.
Canadian dude just
Chainsaw.
again, this big lumberjack guy, big guy, beard, log cabin, chainsaw right to the TV after they lost. This looks like an entire crate of empty beer cans. This is actually the most Canadian video I've ever seen in my life.
Man,
That's good
and
stuff.
That'd be crazy.
They're not taking this loss very well.
I was about to say that'd be crazy if he was in Vancouver because it's like game started at 5 a.m. over there.
No, in my mind, that is about as far north as you can possibly go in Canada. That is like off the grid where these guys were watching the game.
No, they're not. Again, this is devastating for them. Like that's their sport.
It'd be like if we
guys,
lost to France in 24 in the Olympic finals.
Like
The McDavid
know,
thing is so good. Like
Yes.
it's
Yeah,
actually
that's a good
unreal.
point, John.
His just career timeline, especially just recently.
What's the historical comp to him across like Jerry West, like the guy who just literally can't get it done in the
But even
in the
he
big
got
game?
even he won one eventually, you know. And the fact that he's done it on multiple stages and lost, like was the guy that lost to the U.S.
bad.
The Canadian who plays in Canada in the NHL, like just crazy.
Yes, and he should get credit. Like Edmonton drafting him completely just altered the course of their franchise because they had been dreadful in the 2000s, the 2010s, and drafting him reignited them. You know, they were a dynasty, obviously, in the 80s and everything like that, but that reignited them, gets them to 2 cups, best player on both of them, but loses to the Tkachuk brothers there, or at least Matthew Tkachuk, I should say. Brady plays for Ottawa. Matthew Tkachuk and a stacked Florida Panthers team that's been better than Edmonton 2 years in a row now. All right, I'll get my lick back in the Olympics. Can't get it back there either. So, yeah, and it's so tough, too, because like looking it through their lens, it's kind of the MJ LeBron stuff with Gretzky and McDavid. Because Gretzky will never be topped, all the Stanley Cups, all the points, and McDavid's not trying to be better than him, but he's anointed as the next one. Maybe not like, okay, the king, like he wasn't called the king and on a cover in high school, but in Canada, he's regarded as the top player, plays for a Canadian team too. It's not like he's playing for an American team in the NHL, and consistently in the biggest game just doesn't get it done for whatever reason. And not that he played bad. McKinnon was terrible yesterday. Like, he's more to blame than McDavid, but
It's the day after the gold medal gets handed to America. We've got Duke versus Michigan this weekend, but we're still going to find time to talk a little football. Let's take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
All right, you might not believe it, but I've got 5. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 NFL stories from this weekend that every fan should probably know a little bit more on.
it's good because I probably will know 0.
Number 1, tush push, not expected to be banned this offseason. 112 attempts this year. Buffalo and Philly led the way. Success rate down 76.8% versus 82% the last 3 years combined. You need 24 owners to agree to ban something. 16 did the last offseason, but it doesn't seem like anybody's going to vote to or propose that the tush push gets banned this offseason. I've always been a person that said, stop it. Try to stop the tush push. And anyone who voted against it's just salty that they don't have a version of it. But I think it's just so overutilized now on these 4th and inches calls that it's impossible to spot the ball because you're under a pile of people. And I think it just makes for a crutch for offensive coordinators. Like, we're losing creativity in the sport on these 4th down attempts. So I don't really care to see it anymore. But it sounds like this is just going to be in our lives forever.
Will it go to a vote?
If someone proposes it. But you need 24 people, and it sounds like it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Lions are going to be interference in that too because they're like, no, we could do it.
Stop
Dan
it.
Campbell, yeah.
Yeah.
I
They
mean,
did
like,
vote to ban it last year.
I feel like the whole reason why the tush push was going to be banned last year was that it was just one team specifically that dominated it, right?
Yeah.
Now that everybody's doing it, I feel like that makes it less likely to get banned because people it works for a lot of teams now. It's not just the Eagles. If it was just this continuous one team has it, then I think they would get rid of it. But
I think it's too hard to spot the football. Like, forget the fact that Philly jumps off sides half the times. I think it's just too hard to know where the football ended up, which is just annoying. Okay, number 2, and this one can be quick. Rondell Moore tragically passed away from a self-inflicted gunshot wound at 25 years old. If you or someone you know struggling, tell someone.
Yeah.
Never the answer. That's all I wanted to say about that. Number 3, JSN. He wants to be the highest paid AAV wide receiver in the NFL. Right now, only Jamar Chase is making 40 M's. He wants to top that number. I look at St. Brown's contract. He's making $30 million a year on average. That might be Brad Holmes' best contract yet, especially if JSN gets paid. Because if he does, that would make St. Brown the 8th highest paid receiver in the NFL. That is a bargain if I've ever heard one.
I mean, JSN is for sure getting the deal, right? Like, they have to pay him. He's coming off Offensive Player of the Year, and they just won the Super Bowl. Like, he's going to get whatever he asked for, I would assume.
You won Offensive Player of the Year?
Yes.
There was a different name that was announced at the awards, so that confused me a little.
Good one.
Bad guy. Drewski
He said, too, he's like, yeah, I went over the line. It's like, all right.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. We've talked about this. I don't think any of us consider JSN like a top 3 receiver, right? But he's going to get paid as the top guy, and it's just...
He's top 5 now.
Seems a little
He's
egregious.
top 5. I mean, he's
right?
We can say he's not top 3, and it's less of a JSN thing than it is the other guys thing. You know, like I just think that Jets, Jamar, and Puka are better. You know,
I also just think if he's getting the $40 million, then okay, we're in a situation where Seattle is like overnight a little bit bent to the salary cap a little bit, especially with having to pay Witherspoon and Kenneth Walker as well. Like, okay, this is going to get a lot harder for them sooner rather than later.
Does. That's why the NFL is great, too. The Super Bowl champion. Oh, crap, now we got to sign some people.
Yeah. Number 4, Javonte Williams signs a 3-year deal worth $16 million guaranteed. Is there any takeaways with the Gibbs contract? I couldn't think of any. It's probably just bigger fantasy purposes. 10th in attempts last year, even with one less game than everybody else.
kind of surprised, honestly. I figured that the Cowboys would just give him another 1-year deal. I don't know if anyone was going to actually give him like a multi-year contract, especially when they had this George Pickens situation going on.
Yeah.
Felt like they could. I mean, Javonte was good.
You know the Cowboys, man. Anything to piss
make
off.
it more complicated.
Yeah. Let's pay everybody and then just can't get it done with
Let's
Pickens
pay the
and piss
fine
them off.
players and not the good ones. Because, like, Williams was fine. Like, Williams was fine for them last year. Easily replaceable, though. Like
one of the fantasy MVPs, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you got him like super late, 10 to 13. Like, he was a double-digit round guy.
Which never really made sense because he was like the only running back on the roster.
Well, there was all this like, Jadon Blue was drafted in the 6th round. He might, like, it was. Yeah, you're
like
right.
4'3".
Like, looking back at it, this is a pretty good offense that the workhorse RB probably should have went higher. But yeah, I don't know. I was kind of surprised by this one. 3 for 24, right? First $16 million are guaranteed. I'm pretty sure. So it's like a decent contract for a Javonte Williams.
Any takeaways with the Gibbs contract that's
No.
coming? I don't think so.
No.
I wish there was, but there's not.
We still got to wait on Bajan's potential contract as well.
Didn't we establish it was Bijan?
I like to go back and forth.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I like Bijan,
No,
too.
he actually lost the right to tell us how his name is pronounced.
Is there a different way we could say it? Like, go against either, you know?
Bijan.
Bijan?
Yeah,
Bijan.
Bijan. Ooh, I like Bijan.
I think we're allowed to call him whatever he wants because in 2 separate interviews, he's told the people like 2 completely different ways to pronounce it.
Yeah, he's like, it actually is Bajan, but like, I don't care. You can say Bijan because it's been like that forever.
Yeah, but then somebody else will ask him and he'll be like, it's Bijan. It's like, dude.
It's your name.
How do you not know how to pronounce your own name? Yeah, Bijan Robinson has to get a kind. What if it's like Bijan Robinson?
Oh, Robinson?
Yeah, Bijan Robinson.
Right.
Robinson?
Last thing I got. Andy Reid gives an optimistic update about Kelsey's return. He was only $4.5 million against the cap last season. It's unclear if he'll play for that again. I just think he's a little bit too much of a crutch for Andy Reid these days, or not for Andy Reid, for Patrick Mahomes these days. And I think if I was the Chiefs, I'd be like, we're ready for you to be done if you're ready for you to be done.
They can't do that, right?
I think as long as he's there, he's just going to be Mahomes' favorite target. And I think if that's going to be the case, it's going to hold him back.
I mean, they can't just like be like, "Hey, man,
I don't think
we're
they will.
all set."
I don't think they will.
Yeah, it seems like he's obviously just done too much for that franchise. One of the best tight ends of all time. Like, absolutely. If he wants to continue to play, they have to play him, and he's going to get run, like you said.
I think it just gets real sad real quick, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Like, it can all of a sudden look pretty ugly.
Well, and he's obviously has a lot of other things going on outside of football nowadays. So
Does
it's
he
just
really?
like
You mean Travis Kelce, the podcaster who also plays football?
the podcaster / boyfriend of the biggest pop star in the world / football player.
fiance.
Yes.
That's Jack
Thank you
Hughes,
very
by the
much.
way. But yeah.
Good point. Good point. Is Travis Kelce like we're doing this popularity thing with Dylan Larkin? Kelce the most popular guy in the NFL?
Mahomes.
Most popular?
I still think it's Mahomes.
I don't think so, man. I think the casual person who doesn't follow sports would know Travis Kelce before they know Mahomes.
Correct.
I disagree. I think it's the Kelce brothers is like a combo, but like Mahomes,
That's
it's such
still
an
knowing
iconic.
him.
It's such an iconic like last name that I feel like everyone knows who. Like my mom knows who Patrick Mahomes is for sure.
She
He's
for
in
sure knows
commercials
Kelce
too, right?
right? Like
Huh?
she's got to know Kelce though too.
Maybe, probably, but she
Oh,
for
she has
sure
to.
knows Mahomes. Everybody knows Mahomes because Mahomes was a superstar worldwide before Kelce started dating.
I
Taylor
think
Swift.
you're downplaying the Swift factor here. Like
100%.
maybe.
Yeah. Travis is one.
I know why she's famous.
What?
You and I know why she's famous.
Oh, yes,
Correct.
we do.
Okay,
That's a good point.
That's it for Around the League. Around the League, as always, is presented by Aaron Insurance. At Aaron Insurance, they understand not everyone's insurance needs are the same. They want to work personally with you to create something best suited for your needs, whether it's life, home, auto, fiscal insurance. It's all available with the Aaron Insurance Group with Farm Bureau. The team's got over 100 years of combined experience. They know exactly how to put you in the best position possible. The experience matters, and that's why the Aaron Insurance Group with Farm Bureau Insurance is the way to go, serving the Tri-Cities with locations in Bay City and Saginaw.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
(989-837-6125). Welcome back into the show, everybody. Michigan, they dropped their game to Duke. That's the other big event that happened over the weekend, other than the United States picking up a big-time win to take that first gold medal since 1980. Third gold medal overall. But Duke, they get the best of the Michigan Wolverines. I think my biggest takeaway from this is if Ade Mara ever gets into foul trouble, then Michigan is just a completely different team. You take the 7'4" center off the court, and then Michigan doesn't really have another traditional center. They have size. It's not like they lack the size if he does come off the floor, but they do become a significantly smaller team because you're forced to play Morez Johnson at that center spot, and he brings a lot of girth size, but he's not a 7-footer. He's 6'9". He's got the giant wingspan that helps him protect the rim a little bit, but they don't really have another center in their rotation. Early foul trouble for him is like nightmare fuel situation for any Michigan fan in March.
Yeah, but it's something that easily could happen once again. I think that's got to be one of the biggest takeaways from this game is not the fact that you could have disagreements with some of the calls, and you can have
I'm gonna stop you. If I know you're not doing it, I don't want to hear about the officiating in this game. That's not the reason they lost. You know what I'm like? I saw some of that discourse of
we're getting some of it in our YouTube chat as well.
It's just ridiculous, man. I don't want to hear any of it.
I mean, it was a very physical game, and I just think, and that's the style that Michigan plays. So there's going to be whistles, and it seems like if you are a fan of a Michigan team, blaming the officiating seems like it should not be a route you can take at all with the way that they play.
It's just an insane excuse.
So that's the thing. But even if you do disagree with some of the calls, this is still something that very likely could happen down the stretch for Michigan, playing against a really good team. I don't think this could happen against, your round 1 matchup, the 16 seed, your 9 seed you're going to take on in the round of 32. But once you start to advance throughout the tournament, and even in the Big Ten tournament, once we get there, you play against a team for a third time or playing against a team second time around that has seen things now. We've seen a real Michigan loss at this point. I'll still once again say that I think the Wisconsin loss was extremely fluky for Michigan. Mm-hmm. It didn't feel like a real loss. This one was an actual loss. They got outplayed, out-physical. Duke was just the better team, and I think they just are the better team. So now that that's been put on display, there's an opportunity for teams to maybe throw something else at Michigan. And I think, like you said, the number one thing is just go at Mara. He's an elite rim protector, absolutely.
He'll block some of your shots, but if you get blocked a couple times, but it means you get 2 fouls on him in the first 10 minutes, it changes the game for the rest of the game. It's completely different when he's not on the floor. And there's going to be some games where Michigan probably doesn't want him on the floor because the other team is a 5-out sort of team that has the athletes, like Duke, like Houston. They have the athletes where they can feel comfortable playing a little bit undersized because they make up for it in the athleticism. That's a team that you might game plan going into it, be like, hey, Mara's not going to play as much tonight because they're just going to attack him and try to get to the line as much as possible. I don't think it's a flaw that's been exposed. I just think it's something that's been uncovered. It's okay, if you're going to beat Michigan, probably starts with getting Ade Mara in foul trouble.
And it's it's obvious here, but a lot of these top teams in the country right now are better defensive units than they are offensive. And I think that means something. Michigan is one of them as well. They are a better defense than they are offense. Now their offense is still awesome. Same thing for Duke. They're a better defense and offense, still have a great offense.
Yeah,
but
somehow Michigan has played 2 different games this year where they've been the number 1 defense and they've played the number 2 defense. That's weird.
It is really weird. And they still are the number 1 defense. They just edge out Arizona and Duke. They're still the number 1 overall team in net ranking. And by the way, I heard this, I've been getting this agenda push about we need to stop putting all this stuff into net rating and all because Michigan lost to Duke when they're ranked above them and everything.
What?
That's also what the committee looks at when they decide who makes the tournament and who doesn't. So I don't really want to
the net rankings or the fact that Duke beat Michigan.
The net ratings. That's how you decide if teams make the tournament or not. the net rating plays a huge impact on deciding who the Final Four is and the rankings and this and that.
Yeah,
so
stats are good, but it's not like one stat will tell you what team's going to win a head-to-head game when you put them on the floor. What is it? What do you want to just get rid of all stats?
I just saw a solid pushback after that Michigan-Duke game that it's like we got to stop taking into consideration all the net ratings because Michigan was a better rating than Duke in everything and lost to them. And it's just like
are upsets not allowed to happen?
Right, exactly. Yeah, it was a very dumb thing. And it's like I said, like net rating is probably the number one thing that the people who decide what teams are what seeds in the tournament and who makes it and who doesn't, that's like the number one thing they look at. And then obviously it's, strength of schedule, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, I think that going back to the original point I was making, like a lot of these top teams that you expect to go deep into the tournament, that Michigan will likely play in the Final Four. And this is a luxury because we know Michigan is going to go on a run. Like, we're not saying that Duke game has them in a chaos. They're still going to be a deep team in the tournament. But a lot of those teams you're going to play are defensive-minded teams. The Iowa States, the Arizonas, the Dukes even, who they just played off against. Like Houston, exactly. They have elite defenses, and I think that's the formula to beat Michigan. You're not going to outpace them. You're not going to outscore them. It has to be physicality and defense, and there's a lot of teams like that out there. The teams that do it on offense are the teams that have already lost to Michigan. It's the Illinois and the Purdue's, which Illinois-Michigan is this upcoming Friday, so super excited for that. But it's the Purdue, some of the Big Ten teams. These non-Big Ten teams are the true defensive juggernauts in college basketball, which is kind of different. Usually the Big Ten has all of them.
Well, I'll tell you what. These physical teams, the person who might struggle with that the most isn't Mara. It's probably the starting point guard, Elliot Cadeau, who just had a miserable game against Duke, which is not new to anyone who followed North Carolina basketball the last couple of years. Elliot Cadeau, should he be starting for the Michigan Wolverines going forward? I think the answer is no, and I'll tell you why when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show here on the Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
At time is
goes. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUM, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
We're live here on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. We're live here on 100.9 The Mitt. And the apple sounds so good right now. I don't know why this just came through my head, but just a nice green, crispy apple with some peanut butter sounds.
You're a green apple over a red apple guy.
Oh, for sure.
Really?
Yeah, they're a little sweeter, a little
did not know
juicier
that.
most of the time.
It's an interesting take.
Anyway, I think Elliot Cadeau should be coming off the bench for the Wolverines. He plays an erratic style of basketball. When he's hitting his shots, it's smooth. It looks nice. He's got a nice handle, except when he's turning the ball over and throwing the ball out of bounds. He can make any shot in the book, including the 35-footers, the step-backs, the crossovers. He's got all the flashy stuff in the bag. He can't get to the rim, and he takes low-quality shots, in my eyes. And some people might say, well, why can't you just have fun watching the game? I just want my team to have as many good quality looks as possible, and that requires open threes, and that requires shots at the rim. Elliot Cadeau, it feels like, doesn't provide a whole lot of that. 33% of his threes are going down right now. It's not as much as McKinney. It's not as much as LJ Kaysen. I think in a higher volume role for either of those players, it'd be better suiting for Michigan overall as a team. LJ Kaysen has been awesome this season. McKinney's just this lights-out three-point shooter, not as great of a passer. But I think either of those guys could kind of just be put into the role that has been carved out for Elliot Cadeau. And I think Michigan gets, a little bit higher of a ceiling. They need his passing because not everyone is as good of a passer as him. But I think you can funnel the offense a lot through Yaxel and through Ade Mara because that's kind of the direction it tends to go anyway. And if it's not like Kaysen's this bad passer either. And again, if Cadeau's just going to turn the ball over as much as he does, then I don't really get why he's still in the starting lineup. He can't get to the rim. He doesn't get downhill. He's a bad free throw shooter, and he doesn't get to the free throw line in general.
Yeah, I just think it's tough because I agree that, and I've been on this for a while. I just don't think Cadeau he doesn't match the elite caliber players that Michigan has. But also, Kaysen and McKinney are definitely not like traditional point guards.
No,
of course not.
No.
Elliot Cadeau is, and so you do kind of need
He's a traditional point guard who gets pretty shot happy sometimes.
Right, and it's RP's asking this in the YouTube chat. I think it's a fair point. Like, do you think they just want him to be a steady ball handler and distributor? He just shouldn't be shooting as much because, he just, like I said,
he's a lot of step backs.
He's never been a big three-point shooter, man. Like, when he was he was a top-tier guard coming out as a freshman at UNC, and his whole thing is that they didn't want him to shoot. Like, he would not shoot threes. He had that game in March Madness when he would not shoot threes wide open. Last year, he shot more threes, and then this year he's just become like a three-point centric guy.
Well, forget
and
the
it's
threes.
Dusty May.
He stunk it up in like all the biggest games of his career. Going back, like he's 0-4 against Duke. He's played terrible in all of those games. Their elimination game last year in the tournament against Ole Miss, he had a game that he like basically the carbon copy paste game that he had against Duke, where he just stunk it up.
Sure.
That's now has to be accounted
was
for.
the MVP of the Michigan State and Purdue games, though. Like, their two biggest road wins, probably their two biggest wins of the season.
I don't think so for Michigan. For Michigan State.
Really?
I think I think I told you this. I thought Morez Johnson's defense was what popped out to me the most. Not to say I don't think Cadeau played good, because he did, but I just thought personally that Morez Johnson's defense is what swung that game.
Sure, but when you get
And
Elliot Cadeau
Yaxel
dropping 20-plus points when he just traditionally doesn't do that.
Correct.
That plays.
But the thing is, like, he didn't play any different than he did on Tuesday. He just wasn't hitting his step-back threes versus he was hitting his step-back threes against MSU. Like, that's literally what it is. It's the same quality of shot, though, and I think that quality is pretty low compared to the shots that Burnett is taking, which are generated by other people, to be fair. I don't know. He's a good passer. He's a good lob thrower. He can hit the step back threes, but the not being able to get to the rim part is maybe the most frustrating part about it, because he can use the pick and roll, and then it just kind of stops if the lob's not there.
Yeah, definitely. And I do think when you
Which
look
is
at
just
this,
Donaldson 2.0.
Sure. I mean, he also is just crazy
better than
turnover
Donaldson.
happy, though. Like, that's his thing, too. It's
So
like
is Donaldson.
if we're talking about him as, like, he is the true point guard of the team, well, then he needs to turn the ball over much less if he's the true point guard of this team. Now, the flip side of this is we're talking about a team that's 25-2 that is by no means, like, they're for sure a top 3 team in the country at worst.
They're not a pretender after this loss.
No.
They're still a contender.
And making a change to the starting lineup when you're 27 games into the year and you've only dropped 2 of them seems like a stretch.
Well,
it
does
seems
it have to
unrealistic.
Maybe it doesn't have to be a change to the starting lineup,
I think
but
it's
more
closing.
so a minutes reduction.
I think it's how you close the game.
Correct.
It's that simple. If Cadeau is not having a good game, he should not close.
That's
Why did
maybe
he close
the most
that Duke game?
simplistic part about it, too. Like,
Yeah.
it's not... Cadeau was not playing good on Saturday, so why was he in the game? And I'm not saying, like, no, bench him and never let him play again. But let's, like, sift this thing out as the season goes. If this guy is stinking it up, why is he out there?
Yeah.
And he was... it smelled bad
Yeah,
on Tuesday, man. You could still smell the lingering smell that he was giving off now. And it's been 48 hours. He stunk. And the missed layup was like... I mean, that's probably what lost them the game ultimately. People are going to talk about the officiating and the goaltending and the Adair foul trouble, which is all reasonable. But I really think if he makes that layup, like, I'm not going to sit here and say Michigan wins, but they had all the momentum in the world after Boozer sat down. They clawed their way back into it. He hits that wide open layup, and guess what? It's a 1-point game, and anybody can win it.
Yeah, it's the thing that we're coming to here is that closing games, like, it's very easy to tell with Cadeau within the first half of the first half, whether or not he's on or not. It's pretty simple. Like, you can tell right away. And if he's not on, there's no reason he should be now, like, it's a lot to put on Kaysen. You know, like, hey,
he's ready.
You
I think he's ready.
You haven't played barely at all in the second half. Now you're going to close the game against Duke. Like,
Why can't it be
it's a lot to
McKinney?
put on him.
McKinney gets to the line. He hits his free throws.
I mean,
he knocks
McKinney's not
down
a
his
point.
threes.
McKinney is not a point guard.
I know he's not a point guard, but if why not just funnel? Let
He's not even a
Yaxell be the
lead
point
guard.
forward.
Like,
then let Yaxell be the point forward while those minutes are happening, or just put Kaysen into your point.
yeah, I mean, I think Kaysen's definitely much more of a traditional guard than any other guy they have.
And McKinney's closing a lot of the times too. Just have it be McKinney and Kaysen.
Right.
Like,
yeah, you could do
Burnett's
that.
just not the
For sure.
Burnett's the
Burnett's
odd man
played
out.
point guard too. You know, like, it's not like he's not a guard. He was at point guard coming out, played point guard at Texas Tech. Like, so yeah, it's definitely not the worst problem to have if you're Michigan right now, and you're of course going to try to have takeaways after a loss from a team that we were discussing as the best team we've ever seen, and all of a sudden now we're just throwing that out the window because they lost a game to a team that might be better than them. So you're going to look for the negatives and try to say, how can Michigan fix this? How can they be better? And the easy one to point to is Elliot Cadeau, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to check their odds right now to see in terms of how Vegas thinks about them still. Because it's like one thing's very clear. It's not like they're pretenders all of a sudden. They were right in that game with Duke, even though the final score ended up being double digits. But it's not like Duke was just like significantly better than them. They won that bout. And I think if they played Duke 10 times, I don't know. Do they split 5-5? That's kind of the vibe I got.
Yeah.
I didn't think Duke was like this team that handled Michigan. They got into foul trouble and Cadeau stunk, and they still almost won. And then free throws made it look a lot worse than it actually was.
Yeah, Michigan still favorites at plus 370. Duke plus 450.
To win the whole thing?
To win the whole thing.
Yeah.
A little bit surprising on it. Like, I kind of thought they would just give the edge to Duke.
You can't overreact to the one game, I think.
I mean, why not? Like, we're late. Like, I could agree with you if it was December.
Sure.
Like, we're 2 weeks away from the conference tournament starting.
I'll just, like, again, if this game, where's the national championship being played this year?
Oh, I should know this, and I don't.
Or where's the Final Four, I guess I should say. Because, again, like, I think if that game's in Chicago, it's slightly different.
Detroit next year, though.
Really?
that,
That's
yeah.
28.
It is. It's in Indianapolis this
Or
year.
27.
Yeah.
See, Indianapolis, like, that's a home game for Michigan
I just
more so
no,
than a
it's
Duke
like
game.
This whole take of yours, I don't understand. Like,
I just
it's a
thought-
neutral game.
You and I both knew somebody that was at that game, and he said it was 70% Duke fans. Like, I know it's a neutral
Michigan
game.
went to Purdue and won. They went to Michigan
I know.
State and won.
I'm
like,
not making excuses.
clearly
I'm just
that does
simply
not-
stating that it was a little bit more of a Duke crowd than it was a Michigan crowd. And if it's in Chicago or Indianapolis, I think it's vice versa.
Right.
And it's not a Duke home game. That's not what I'm saying. Because if it was a Duke home game, I don't think Michigan stood a chance.
Right. And I'm just making the case that like Michigan has clearly showed that the crowd and environment has not affected them this season. So saying that a neutral game played into potentially why they lost, I think is just crazy.
But being in an NBA, like you could feel the momentum shift in that arena when Boozer sat down and Michigan started to get hot, and it all ended when Cadeau missed the layup.
You could feel the momentum shift when Michigan State came out in the second half and went on a crazy run and took the lead, and then boom, Michigan just stopped it out of nowhere. Like
I'm not saying
Duke's
it's why
just
they
a better
lost.
team than Michigan State was, of course.
All I'm stating is, I think it's just slightly different if it's in Chicago or Indianapolis. It's a neutral court, and it will go down as a neutral court game, but there were more Duke fans there.
Also,
so that's just a fact.
People aren't going to like this. There's also just more Duke fans than Michigan fans.
In Washington, yeah.
In
I
the
don't
country.
think
in
the country,
basketball, there are just more Duke fans.
I don't
you,
think
you
in
play
Chicago.
That game in
I don't
Chicago,
think in Chicago.
You play that game in Chicago, there will be more Duke fans there.
That I disagree with.
I
think if you play that game in Indianapolis, there's way more Michigan fans.
Not that far.
New York, I'm not sure. I think honestly, maybe Michigan.
No, you could play that game anywhere outside of the state of Michigan, and there will be more Duke fans.
I think that's where we just disagree.
Okay.
989-837-6125, 11 o'clock hour. As always, is brought to you by Yater Insurance. Life happens fast, and at Yater Insurance, they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned and trusted in Midland for decades, they treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yater is the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple with expert advice and real people you can actually talk to. That's Yater Insurance Group. We'll be there when you need us since 1940. When we come back, a lot at stake for this team this weekend. Or this week. This upcoming week, I should say. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live on the Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky. built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
So we've been talking Michigan, we've been talking USA hockey, we've been talking it all. One thing that I do think is worth one segment here on this wonderful Monday is what is at stake for the Detroit Pistons this week? Because I think there's one thing that's not at stake is the 1 seed. Enough to where I don't like it's a privilege to not really have to worry about that. And they've got these incredible games coming up this week against 3 playoff teams, 2 of the other best teams in the NBA from out west, in the Spurs, the Thunder, and the Cavs all this week. Now, I'll just say this. They're due to drop one of them. Like, there's no way they can get up for all 4 of these games emotionally between the Knicks that already happened. They got up and won that one. And then the Spurs tonight, Victor Wembanyama. The Thunder, the reigning champs on Wednesday, TBD on Shea. And then the Cavs on, is that Friday or Saturday? I think it's Friday.
Friday, yep.
So I expect them to lose one of these games, maybe even 2 of them. But here's what's at stake. Cade's MVP, first and foremost. All 3 of these games are nationally televised. This is after Cade's game in Madison Square Garden was nationally televised, after he kind of has some momentum coming out of the All-Star break with the way he played there, winning the GQ magazine cover. Cade's got a ton of momentum right now. And if he can ball out against Victor Wembanyama tonight, another perennial MVP candidate, and then do it against the defending champs on Wednesday, maybe in a toe-to-toe battle with SGA. And by the way, if he doesn't play, that's all I need to know. If SGA is not playing and he ducks this game, okay. I know all I need to know about this Thunder team.
Does it count as ducking the game if he just like
100%.
doesn't play leading up to it? Like
100%. If he 100%.
100%.
Yes, he's ducking. Be ready. Be ready to play when when you're on the road playing against the other number 1 seed. And if they're not ready to play, then they don't have that same competitive gene that the Pistons have, and I don't think they'll be ready for what the Pistons bring in terms of the intensity level. That's just my opinion. The Cavs, that's another Eastern Conference foe. That's probably, if in terms of the standings, the most must-win game. But back to the Cade MVP thing, and then we can get into each individual game. All 3 of these games being national televised with the momentum that he has, I do think there's a legitimate chance he goes from like hot name for a week and a half to legitimate, oh my God, it's a 3-man race with what happens this week and how he plays in these 3 games. That's where I want to start with what's at stake this week.
I'm with you, because think about like what happened just after the Knicks game. Like
13 dimes, no big deal. 13 dimes against the Bulls.
But I'm just talking like from a national perspective, like from a conversation, from a MVP odds perspective. Like Cade was being led with on every NBA show the following day on Friday. Mm-hmm. His MVP odds were cut in half. He went from plus 1,400 to plus 700. Now he's plus 650. Like just like that, boom, he's inserted his name into this mix.
Somehow down to plus 1,200 again.
Oh, actually?
Oh, no, that's finals MVP, my bad.
I was going to say. And then, like you said, has a chance to go up against the guy that is over him right now in Shea, is he still the current odds-on favorite to win?
Yeah, minus 145. Literally not playing. I don't know why he's favored.
I mean, he hasn't missed that many games yet. Like,
who knows? Literally not playing.
I mean, Cade has also missed games this year. Like, we can't just sit here and act like Cade has played all 82.
He's played more than Shea and Jokic.
Has he played more than Shea at this point?
Yeah.
Shea has only missed like the last 5 games.
By the way, Jokic, his team just keeps losing. Just lost in collapsing fashion last night. Just saying.
Very interesting. Shea, by the way, still ruled out for tonight or tomorrow's game against Toronto. So they go back, but like opportunity, right? Back to back.
Yeah.
Maybe could come back in that one. But yeah, like the opportunity for Cade is there to be like, wow, this guy actually is the MVP. Now there's also the opportunity, not just for Cade, but for the Pistons in general on the opposite side of things. Like
That's what I was just going to say.
You have these 3 games against the 2 best teams in the West right now, and then the Cavs team that people are just saying is the best team in the East. We're just giving that to them, I guess.
Ludicrous take. So the 3 best teams in the NBA are all in Little Caesars Arena over the next 72 hours between the Pistons, the Thunder, and the Spurs, which is tonight. which if they win one of these games, I think the Pistons move into a different category rather than being like, hey, best team in the East. Are they finals? They go into like, oh no, they're one of the 5 teams that actually can win the title. And that's with one win tonight against the Spurs. I think, boom, they're in the conversation. The win against the Thunder, I mean, if they're going to win that game, it has to be with SGA playing. Otherwise, they'll be like, oh, SGA didn't play, even though they're still a really good team without SGA. 2 wins, all of a sudden, like, maybe we need to start talking about them as the favorite in the entire NBA, which sounds crazy for a team that's never won a playoff series. But, like, you beat the 2 best teams in the quote-unquote significantly better conference. I don't know where the conversation goes besides right there. 1 win, I think, gets you into the, okay, you're a legitimate in the 5-team bubble. 2 wins, it's all of a sudden, it's something completely different. Now, 2 losses, and people are going to start talking once again like, yeah, the West is way better. Maybe the Pistons can fight out of the East, but all these West teams are going to kick the crap out of them, which has been the narrative for most of the season.
It has been, and I think like if that is the situation that happens, and then you're able to bounce back and beat Cleveland on Friday night, then you feel fine. It's like, okay, we're still good in the East thing, but yeah, you get one of these games against these West teams, and man, how awesome is it that all 3 of these games are at home, by the way?
Yes.
Like, just so sick.
It's probably the week of the year at LCA.
Yeah, I mean, Cleveland outside of us is for sure the hottest team in the East, and then you, of course, bring in the best teams in the West. So that's what I'm super excited about, just the opportunity that is there for a lot of narratives to be pushed, and some of them are bad, of course, like if the Pistons don't. Sure. Not bad, but, just like it's the opposite of the fun ones that we're going to want to talk about. So
2 losses here also probably seals Cade not winning MVP. Like, his MVP, he's kind of fighting for it this week.
Yeah, I mean, he's also just like, he still is a far shot, like a long shot to win the award in general.
Yeah, and he needs to win a couple of these games this week in order to, like, give himself a fighting chance the rest of the year, in my eyes.
Cade and Shea each played in 49 games this season, by the way.
Okay, and then he's played 7 more games than Jokic.
Yes.
He's played 42.
Right.
Yeah, and by the way, I'll say this too regarding the next 2 games against the Spurs and the Thunder. Way more anticipatory for the Spurs tonight. Way more of a draw.
I guess the Thunder are not healthy, yeah.
Even if they were, you got the defending champs, the best defense in the NBA. The only defense better than the Pistons is the Oklahoma City Thunder. There's a real chance on Wednesday when these 2 teams play, 2 top teams in the conference, reigning champs, reigning MVP, reigning Finals MVP. There's a chance that this is like a 2006 basketball game where it's a rock fight. These teams are playing football, bruising each other the entire time.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm excited for that, but the NBA is a star-driven league, and Victor Wembanyama for the Spurs is, in my eyes, not only the future, but the current face of the NBA. The future is now, guys. Like, the aliens have invaded. It's only a matter of time before they want to take over the league, and I think we're basically at that point where it's happening right in front of our eyes. Way more excited to see this guy tonight. I had to be there in person. I will be making the drive down to see this guy. He is not just the future, but the present day star of the league. I think he's the number 1 draw. I'm way more excited to see him.
Yeah, I mean, I would be the same way. Like, it's not even a Thunder thing. It's just about Wemby. Like, the fact that just he has yet to play in LCA as well.
He played there his rookie year.
He did play?
Yeah.
I thought he was out. Oh, okay. Well, last year he didn't play.
Correct.
But still, like, just the fact that now not only is it one of the few times you're going to get to see him here, but 2, both these teams are really good.
Yeah.
Like, this is like an awesome game. It's Peacock Monday. You might get to see Austin Rivers. That's pretty fun.
Similar timelines, 2 really young teams, up and coming. This is by far the team I fear the most if the Pistons make the finals. Like, number 1 guy I don't want to see, because as much as the Pistons have this great defense, protect the rim better than anybody, Stu, he won't be playing tonight because he's still serving the suspension. We just don't have anybody tall enough for Wemby. That's my biggest fear.
No one does.
Well, nobody does, but the Pistons don't play a 7-footer.
Right.
Stu's what, 6'9", 6'10"?
I think.
Yeah, 6'9" might be generous.
Yeah, Duran's like 6'10".
We don't have anybody within 6 inches of Wemby. So there's a chance that he's just kind of doing whatever he wants, even with the Pistons' incredible rim protection against most other teams. This ain't most other players. This ain't most other teams.
They got to bully him, man. Like,
this is the alien. This is the guy that's not real. He's arrived. I can't wait.
They got to beat him up. Like, I'm just very interested to see how the Pistons play him tonight, especially with no Stu.
Yeah. How many lobs is Duran actually going to That's my other fear with Wemby if they match up with him in the finals. Like, do Cade and Duran
A
still
main
get to
source
do
of
their lob
offense.
thing?
Yeah.
Like,
Just taken away.
That's a real possibility. That it's just like, hey, that thing that you love doing, like maybe your most reliable form of offense, you just don't get to do it with this guy lurking in the paint. You can't throw lobs over him. Cade's the best lob thrower in the NBA in my eyes, other than like maybe LeBron. And it just might be like not an option with this guy on the floor. I think I'd much rather play the Spurs, the Thunder in the finals if I'm looking to win, even though they're probably the scarier statistical team. Just from a historian standpoint, like usually the best player wins, and Wemby, in my eyes, is the best player.
I think we're going to find out this week too, like what these teams look like, because the Pistons haven't taken on one of these top Western Conference. I mean, outside of Denver, which seemed like they handled them pretty well in the couple times they played them. So it's the first time they've gotten to face one of these elite tier teams on the opposite side. And yeah, we're going to find out, I think, which would be the better matchup. Of course, if the Pistons just make the finals in general, I'll be happy. But
I think if the Pistons and Spurs played in the finals, it'd actually be great for the NBA. And if Wemby gets to the finals at all, I think it's like just the NBA is foaming at the mouth with how much they get to push him and advertise him. I think the Pistons are a perfect team to go up against as their first challenge. Like these bullies, these genuine mean guys are going to go try to beat up Wemby, and he's got to overcome them. That 2005
pretty
rematch,
fun.
that sounds incredible to me.
I'd love that.
And that's not even just from a Pistons fan point. Like across the NBA, I just think that's an incredibly sellable thing to your audience, even though you're probably rooting for the Celtics or the Knicks. It's just a bigger market. But Pistons Spurs 2005 Finals rematch, sign me up. That sounds awesome. 989-837-6125. Take a trip around the league. Do our two traditions to close out every show. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Dow, proudly rooted in Midland, making an impact all around the world. Innovations that create cleaner solutions for water, safer homes, and a more sustainable future. Company built on science but driven by people with thousands of employees who call this community home. Supporting local schools, events, and nonprofits because being a good neighbor matters. From the lab to the Little League field, Dow is invested in the places we live, work, and play. Dow, solving with science, standing with community.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Kyle Sandville, tell us what is going on in the Mitt Morning Catch on this magnificent Monday.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
What's happening? What's going on? We haven't done one of these all show.
And we haven't. I mean, like, we know the sports world is kind of on a little bit of a pause right now with the Olympics going on. We've been talking about Olympics all day. Let's first off visit the community calendar, as always presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. We did have the Dow Tennis Classic going on last week. Got to announce that 23-year-old Russian tennis player Alina Chareva, I'm for sure I'm saying that wrong. She won. She was the winner of the Dow Tennis Classic.
USA can't win them all, you know.
Yeah. Olympics will take that, but
yeah, fair trade.
Dow Tennis Classic, we didn't quite get enough, but that was a good time there this week. Thanks to everyone that was helping putting that on. Okay, so yesterday, Michigan State, they took on Ohio State, and man, this was just a classic Michigan State game. Ugly. It was tight the whole time. Ohio State was up for most of this game. MSU goes on a run at the end of the game, wins it 66-60. Tom Izzo, once again, was just extremely upset at his team in the postgame. He did a funny little bit where he was like, I thought my team played so good. I have nothing bad to say about my team. I love my teammates, or I love my players. Ohio State just played really good. And then, like, just kidding. We suck.
See, I wasn't aware that this game was going on, just like the Olympics thing in the morning
Not
distracted
tapped in,
me, and then I had some errands to run, and then I had some friends texting me about like the game, and I was like, oh god, Michigan State's playing right now, and I thought about pulling it up, and then I was like, you know what, if I pull this up, I'm just gonna get mad, like it's just gonna piss me off what's happening, so I decided to not do it. Great decision. Like, honestly.
You missed Carson Cooper career game, man. I mean, of course.
Even more so reason to not
Now
watch.
he still has reason to say Carson Cooper stinks because he didn't get to see his good game.
No, but you told me that Ohio State was running a lot
they
of
ran the zone the whole game,
which
and
would
it's
have
just
pissed me off even more because Michigan
obvious,
State would
right?
have had no answer to it.
You could have, like, this is my whole take, and I'm the MSU guy, and you could have not run a zone all year. You could be like this great man defense team, not even have practiced a zone. And then the day before the game, be like, hey, we're going to play zone against these guys. And it would work. Like, it's so simple. A high school team could have an effective zone, man. It's just...
They don't have a forward that can sit in the middle of the zone and be a good decision maker or turn up and turn around and just face the basket.
They just don't
and
have
be a threat to
shooters.
score.
It's that simple. Like, you want to try to pass the ball into the middle? You can't. Because we're just letting you pass to the perimeter and have them shoot threes. Like,
yeah.
Jordan Scott had a good game again, and he's been really good since they put him in the starting lineup. He's about their only guy that is a consistent three-point shooter. Kurt Tang is pretty up and down and is also, like, pretty horrendous defensively.
But who's going to be the guy in the middle if Michigan State gets a zone thrown on him that can, like,
it was
be
Cooper.
a good decision maker?
They threw Cooper there at the end of the game, and it worked. Like, that's why he had such a good game. But, yeah, the thing is, it's just, like, you could have a good decision maker in the middle, and it doesn't matter because they just get they just get trapped there. Or they don't even allow the pass in the middle to happen. So
does zone still haunt the MSU fans from the tournament that
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk about this all the time. The 2018 loss to Syracuse is the worst. It's the worst loss I've ever experienced as a college basketball
over Middle
fan.
Tennessee State.
Oh, 100% over Middle Tennessee State.
Really?
And
Why?
everyone's always shocked by that. It's because the Middle Tennessee State game Like State just, it was just like a classic upset game. Like the Middle Tennessee just played crazy good for some random school, and I don't know. That game was, it was obviously that's probably number 2. But the Syracuse MSU game in 18 in the round of 32 was just like State put a guy that didn't play all year in the middle of the zone with Jaren freaking Jackson Jr. on the team.
Yeah.
Like that was just that's why it's the most frustrating loss ever.
That's your guy, Tom Izzo. That's your guy.
Yes, it is. They go on the road next at Purdue on Thursday and at Indiana Sunday. So they're headed to the state of Indiana for 2 big-time road games. So, yeah, we'll continue to monitor that. Michigan, their upcoming schedule, they host Minnesota tomorrow night, and then big one at Illinois on Friday night. Very excited for that game.
Yeah. I mean, they win that game and it's done, right?
It basically is done already because this was another thing put in the news.
I think the magic number's 1, right?
Illinois blew a 23-point lead at UCLA Saturday night. So Mitt Cronin, after all the stuff that he got this past week, just comes through at home, knocks off top 10 ranked Illinois. So, yeah, there's no other, like Michigan has the 1 loss. Every other team's got 4 losses. So there's only 4 games left in the season for almost every team. Like you said,
so
Michigan wins one of them, and they win the Big Ten.
Well, they win a share of it.
And
they win 2, they win it outright.
Correct. Or, yeah, exactly. So that Illinois-Michigan game is not going to have as much buzz as maybe we thought it would a week ago because Illinois picked up an extra loss. Let's talk a little bit about John's team because they broke some records yesterday. 13 wins in a row for St. John's from this weekend. That's their longest in 41 years.
Wow.
So shout out to the Johnnies. I don't even think he can hear us talking about this right now, which is probably a good thing. Okay, the Tigers, spring training got kicked off this weekend, 20-3. They lost in the spring training opener. They also tied yesterday with the Orioles. They play today with Scooble on the mound at 105 against the Twins. But a couple of notable things. Kevin McGonigal, Max Clark, they each got 1 hit in their debut on Saturday. That was pretty cool. Max Anderson. We all love and know Max Anderson because, you know, they, of course, wouldn't trade him at the dedeadline.
Why would we trade
Untouchable.
Max Anderson for Geno Suarez?
Yeah,
That
2
doesn't make
RBIs.
sense.
He had 2 ribbies. Shout out him. Yeah.
Great stuff. No, I mean, with spring training, I don't really care that they lost, 20-2 against the Yankees. Like, the final scores don't really matter to me. It's more so these you know who else is another name that I'm going to be keeping an eye on this spring? Parker Meadows. Like, I want to see it.
Yeah,
Colt
for sure.
Keith, another one, because he's made it clear he doesn't want to have a bad start to his season again because March and April has not treated him very kindly the last 2 years. So that's a guy I'll be looking for his stats too. No, what Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson are doing, I don't really care.
Sure, yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah,
thinking.
just because they're locks. I was just trying to think, like, what if they were really... Yeah, no, you're right. It doesn't really matter at all.
I think Parker and Kevin are probably the 2 biggest looking at
Kevin.
the box scores every
We're
day.
giving him the Kevin tag.
Yes. That might be the first time we've ever done that.
I've never... You said that, it was like, Kevin.
Parker and Kevin, I think, are the 2 guys, and I'm looking at the box scores every day to see how they do.
Are you allowed to be named Kevin if you're only like 20 or 21 years old in the Big 2-6?
What about Kevin G?
Oh, you're right.
You left your
He
hoodie
kind
on
of
my
owns
chair.
that name. Like, no one else should be named Kevin now because of Kevin G.
Still find your hair ties everywhere.
All right, sorry for the brain rot. Speaking of baseball, obviously, now that the Olympics are over, we're moving on to the World Baseball Classic. Let's give some info about when that starts. Pool play for the World Baseball Classic starts on March 4th. That's a Wednesday. That's the Tokyo pool play getting started. But in the U.S., the Miami pool play will start on that Friday. So March 6th, which is like next Friday. So
That's quick. That's real quick.
we're almost there. And it's a quick tournament, too. It's about 2 weeks long.
So
And-
I'd imagine everybody from Lakeland's bouncing out of here pretty soon then, right?
Yeah, and we got an update on Ohtani yesterday, too. He's going to play in a couple games before he leaves for Japan for the World Baseball Classic. So, yeah, most of these guys that are involved in everything are just going to play probably throughout this week and then leave this weekend. That would be my guesstimation there. But I'm excited, man. And we were talking about this pre-show. It wraps up right before March Madness starts. So we're going to have the
Olympics into World Baseball
Yes.
Classic into March Madness, which is overlapping the conference tournaments. Oh, my.
into like
God.
end of NBA season, into the playoffs. Like this is just, and then NHL playoffs. We're about to enter an elite stretch with no football.
What do you mean
Who
enter?
needs
We're-
football?
we're in it.
We're in it
right now.
I'm talking about in it.
I'm talking about in it.
And yeah, the last thing, of course, we got to say is Norway. Yeah, they won the Olympics.
No,
Good
you know
for
what?
them.
That might be the smartest thing John's ever said. That the medal count doesn't
Ever.
matter, but the United States won hockey in men's and women's. Now, is that arrogant and naive? Sure, it's also the sport. The main event of the Olympics was men's hockey, and United States won that. Win in my books. I don't really care about the skiing medals
Sure.
as much.
Also, one more thing, and this is not a fun one, but I had to throw it in here. LeBron James endorses Jaylen Brown's MVP case after their loss last night to the Celtics. He's all in on Jaylen Brown to win the MVP. Yeah.
Shut up, LeBron.
Shut up.
Yeah, shut up. Oh, we got two traditions to close out every show. The first of those is our lock of the day. That's coming up when we come back here on the Ben Bosscher Show. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, we got two traditions to close out every single show here. The first tradition we're trying to make some money. It's our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
So I kind of alluded to this earlier today. I'm like petrified for the Pistons' perspective of playing Victor Wembanyama. I think the Pistons do. I know they have the second best defense in the NBA in terms of defensive rating. They've got the best rim protector in the NBA, other than Victor Wembanyama in Isaiah Stewart, who won't be playing tonight. But they're a really good, tough team to attack the paint on because of their physicality and point of attack defenders like Asar and Ron Holland. Cade's a great rim protector amongst the guards. JD's a brick of a wall down there. The problem is they lack the vertical size. And usually it doesn't matter. But when you go up against a guy that's 7'4", well, I think he's listed at 7'4". I think he's actually like 7'5", 7'6". That is suddenly an issue when you don't have the vertical size. So I'm going to go with Victor Wembanyama to score 25 points tonight.
Boo.
I didn't say I thought the Spurs were going to win. I don't think the Spurs. Gun to my head, I'll take the Pistons to win this game at home. I'll take the Pistons to win at home, but I don't think they really have an answer to stop Victor.
So why won't you just take Pistons money line as lock of the day then?
Because they're favored. This is better value. Plus 106,
I don't know. I
correct?
think you're hiding something here. Plus 105, yeah.
Plus 105.
Look, I mean, I figured you would do a Wemby play here. Like you said, it also just does feel like at some point they are going to drop a game. It feels inevitable.
Yeah, they're not going to go 3-0 this week.
It's just about can you go 2-1? Like that'd be awesome too, you know. So like, can you not drop 2 in a row? This team hasn't lost 3-0 or 3 in a row all year.
2-1 this week would kind of be incredible. To beat 2 of the 3 hottest teams in the league, other than the Pistons. Yeah, I'm fully happy if they win 2 of the games, and I don't really care which 2 they are.
2 of the 3 hottest teams plus the reigning champs.
Yes.
Like, you know, it's a pretty good run right there, you know?
Hell, man, if they go 1-2 this week, they're fine. Like, seriously, though, they built a big enough lead in the Eastern Conference to where, like, as long as they can win one of the games.
Like, it'd be so reassuring to be like, yeah, like, this whole East-West thing, blah, blah, blah. Cleveland, they're not this, you know, this team that everyone's saying, oh, they're actually the real best team in the East because I believe they're still the favorites to win the Eastern Conference, are they not? Like, that's ridiculous. Like,
realistically, the game you probably need to win the most is the Cleveland game, but I would just say, like, the game that would make me feel the best about the Pistons going forward with a win is tonight or Wednesday if Shea plays. If Shea doesn't play, I think it's just tonight's game.
Pistons, by the way, now are the favorite.
To win the East.
To win the East. Plus 320. Boston at plus 350. Cleveland at plus 360. I don't know.
What changed
Cleveland
from
didn't
last
lose.
Friday?
Yeah, Cleveland didn't lose, so maybe they were just like realizing like, oh, actually.
No, Cleveland did lose. They lost to OKC.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. So maybe, that's probably why.
But they're still in 4th. Like, the Pistons have the 5.5 game lead over Boston, so if they lose tonight, it's down to 5. Cleveland's still 7.5 games out, so maybe, like, honestly, the more I think about this, I'd rather just win one of these Western Conference games.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, I don't know. I still want to beat Cleveland though, because it's just you also play them again next week on the road. So
also
like,
a chance you play them in round 2.
Right. Like that's a team where you have a really good chance of actually playing in the playoffs. Whereas the Spurs or Thunder, it's like you have to make the finals, and we can sit here and be confident in it, but like you still have to make the finals to play them. Cleveland you would play before then. So the Cleveland one is the most important one to me, but the other two are super fun as well.
Sure. And with Cleveland, you've played 2 games with them already this year, but now they're a completely different team. So this is kind of the first iteration of that.
Yeah, and they've been good.
And again, here's the part that's kind of getting lost in the shuffle. The Pistons don't have Stu tonight, and will continue to not have Stu the rest of the week. That's an enormous swing player for the Pistons. Like, I don't know. We get this year's version of Stu in last year's playoffs because he was hurt, remember? I think they win that series. Like, he is that impactful. So we do get to, like, even if the Pistons lose some games this week, it's without a very key player. The Western Conference teams, somehow we've avoided the top 4 of them other than Denver. I guess we haven't avoided the top 4, but the 3 teams I view as the best, we've avoided all of them until this week. Still have 2 matchups with Minnesota this year as well at some point.
Kind of crazy that they don't play them until the end of the year twice.
Is it the last 2 games?
No, I don't think.
It's like
no,
the last week or so.
Yeah, it's like 2 of the last 5 or 6 games. Yeah.
Who knows? It sounds like there's a chance Minnesota might be in the Eastern Conference in the near future. Them or Memphis, if they actually do the 2 expansion teams out west.
Would it just be New Orleans? It'd probably be Memphis. Memphis is the most
Memphis.
East, and like screw Memphis too. You know,
Memphis should cease to exist.
I mean, their owner's got a lot of bad stuff going on.
That was our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
I sensed we were getting political, and I decided let's just
Hey,
move
you
forward.
also lost lock of the day last week, so I saw you were trying to avoid that
Last Friday.
Yeah, like you lost the week.
Oh.
So yeah.
What was my bet on Friday?
It was Cavs -6,
And they won by 6,
5.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's tough.
that's okay.
Hey, remind me, you got a point on Friday. He did Pistons lead, right? It was J-Mac.
J-Mac did a Pistons
And it was
lead.
Pistons
well,
lead.
you and I both were right in terms of the things he talked about in the opening segment, but he talked about mine first.
Right, okay, so I will change your score to 45 now. 45-39, Ben has the lead. Man, Pistons lead on the herd with Colin Cowherd, subbed in by
it wasn't with Colin
Jason
Cowherd.
McIntyre. Yeah, just pretty brutal stuff. That's the only way we get a Pistons lead, though, but we'll take it. So that means, the score is 45-39. Ben has the lead. It is my turn to go first today. Okay. Do we get a hockey lead? Like, we have to, right? What else? Like, there's no way he's leading with the Lakers-Celtics Sunday night basketball game last night, right? Oh, but he so is. Oh, man. Do I trust Colin here, or do I go with my gut? Screw it. I'm going with Lakers-Celtics. I'm going with LeBron, and the Lakers are. This team is not a playoff team. I'm rocking with that.
What is Brad?
Brad doesn't
about?
like it.
You don't like the Lakers Celtics lead?
I guess he doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with the hockey stuff. Cash Patel having a good time. I'll go with it all.
He says it's a layup, and it's Colin Cowherd, man. When it's a layup, he talks about Caleb Williams. Like, you never know.
I think it just has to be USA Hockey. He can tie it into.
I agree. It should.
Stuff.
I
He's
agree.
not
It
afraid
should
to do
be the
politics.
lead. I agree. It should be the lead, but I just don't know if it's going to be.
Yeah, I think that's crazy from you.
He might just do a quick like, oh man, what a weekend, hockey man, they got the win. But LeBron and I could just see that. I could
It
so
could
see
happen. It could happen. All right, everyone. That's going to do it for us today. We appreciate everybody for listening. I think the Combine's coming up pretty soon here, too. That's another thing to keep on the radar. February 23rd. Today's February 23rd.
What?
The Combine starts
Wait,
today?
what?
Oh, my God. When are the 40-yard dashes being run?
Yeah, when can we overreact to everybody's?
Yeah, when can everyone's drafts plummet?
Yeah.
So yesterday was the early player arrivals. Today's the registration.
When can I see how
pre-exam,
long the
orientation.
offensive lineman's arms are?
Today's the interviews, and tomorrow's when they start running some things, I believe. Oh, no, on-field workouts start on Thursday. Okay. Appreciate everyone for listening today. We'll be back at 9 a.m. tomorrow and do it all over again. I'll have a lot of things to say about Victor Wembanyama and the Pistons. Can't wait for tonight. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in today. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. See you later.
The Ben Bosscher